Found another one of a prize steer butcher this morning.
I told you talk wouldn't be enough for a man like Blake McCall, Pa.
The only kind of talk he understands comes out of this.
Looks to me like they picked up a little company. They didn't have a wagon the last time we ran them off here.
We gonna let him get away with it, Pa?
He has the sickness of gold, senor. You have already given him more chance than he deserves.
Jose, it's a family affair.
What I have, I owe to you, old friend. Something that would destroy the Ponderosa would also destroy me. Your fight is my fight.
All right, let's visit with Mr. McCall.
Well, we're on the Ponderosa, John. That means we'll be running into the Cartwrights before long.
Let's hope you'll make out better with them this time than last.
John, that isn't fair. Blake did the very best he could.
Well, your brother doesn't always approve of my methods, Emily. Think you could do better, John?
I'd like to try talking with them. They're people, same as you and I think.
Old man Cartwright and his 3 sons? Yeah, they're people, all right. Rough ones.
Now, what happened between you and them?
Thought we were partners, John. Partners don't pry, they trust one another.
Are you implying I don't trust you? That's ridiculous.
John, please, you're letting yourself get all on edge.
Well, I'm sorry, Emily. It's just that I'm worried about your health. I need to get you into that high desert country without delay. Well,
I think you better get some rest.
What's the matter, McCall? You letting your love life interfere with your money making? Take my advice, you get rid of her and Pennington, both of them. There's gold here. Besides, she ain't gonna last much longer anyway.
Krug, don't you ever let me hear you say that again.
It's the truth, ain't it?
Well, I'd say we were flattered to have the great Mr. Ben Cartwright pay us a call.
my name is John Pennington. We're on our way to that new mining area at Virginia City. We were told this was the best way to get there.
Well, you were told wrong. You're on private property.
Well, other people have come through here.
They have. And they've slaughtered our beef, cut and burned our timber, and dug holes in our best pasture land.
Are we to be blamed for the actions of other people?
When you're standing alongside one of the worst offenders, yes. Now, we told you to get off last month, McCall, and we meant for you to stay off.
Blake, what's he talking about?
Very simple, Emily. The great Ben Cartwright thinks he owns the world.
Now, just this part of it, Mr. McCall. Now, I'll ask you to get off my land. All of you.
Please, Mr. Cartwright, if I may speak. My name is Justin Flannery. My only purpose here is to obtain specimens of Sierra flora and fauna. You see, sir, by profession, I'm a botanist and entomologist. You see, sir, I only fell in with these people 2 days ago.
Well, you made a very poor choice, Mr. Flannery.
That's an unfair thing to say, Mr. Cartwright. You don't even know us.
If my partner caused you any damage, I'm sure we can arrive at a settlement.
I'm afraid we can't.
Or can't I even reason with you?
Mr. Pennington, your reasoning became apparent when you introduced hydraulic mining to California. Oh, I've seen the operations of Pennington and McCall. Thousands of acres of virgin timber uprooted. Mountains washed away. Floods caused by the debris of your monitors. Orchards buried under mud. Us, see what you can do for him.
Sure, Paul.
You keep away from him. You ugly brute.
Ma'am, I can't hardly help being ugly, can I? He ain't even hurt bad.
Blake. Now, nobody could be as unreasonable as these Cartwrights seem to be. You must have done something to turn them against us.
Well, you don't have to do too much. Have those Cartwrights turn against you. All right, maybe we did cut down a couple of their precious trees and Krug shot one of their cows. Believe me, it was an accident. He thought it was a deer.
Oh, that's the kind of accident we could do without, huh? Now, be a little more careful next time, will you?
Now, look, John. I don't tell you how to run the office. Don't tell me how to run my end of this partnership.
Blake. I wish you two wouldn't quarrel so.
You're really in love with him?
Well, you and he are all I have left. That's why I don't want any trouble between you.
Don't worry, Emily. Blake and I get along fine. The main thing is to get you into that drier climate without delay. Now, you get back in the tent and get some rest, huh?
That's right, just get some rest. 2 hours in the morning, 2 hours in the afternoon. Don't exert yourself. Just sit and look pretty. John? Huh? Do you think there's any hope?
Oh, of course there's hope. If you keep believing, you'll get well.
Just as I have to keep believing I have a right to love? I have to keep believing that, John. Because if I couldn't, I'd want to die.
Mr. Cartwright, I demand you allow us to pass through here.
How is he, son?
He's all right, boys. Just a crease.
Mr. Cartwright, why don't you answer my brother's request? And why are you so unreasonable?
Why am I so unreasonable? Miss Pennington, I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. He came across the plains with me. And all the way across, he nursed a wagon load of young peach trees, had a dream, wanted to plant an orchard in California. Well, I saw what was left of that orchard last year, buried under a dozen feet of mud, washed down by your brother's hydraulic monitors.
Oh, I remember the man. I paid him twice what his land was worth. I paid for each of his trees.
Well, just what price do you put on the dream of a man's lifetime?
My brother has no intention of bringing hydraulic equipment into the Sierra.
No? Then why is he here, Miss Pennington?
I swear to you, we have no intention of staying on your Ponderosa ranch.
Sorry, but I find that hard to believe. See, the facts are, your partner has filed claims on some of the neighboring ranches. Ranches that contain watershed vital to the Ponderosa.
Well, don't look so suspicious, John. The claims were filed in the name of the partnership.
We'll have to relinquish them.
I don't agree. They're perfectly legal. We'll keep them and we'll work them.
I disagree. Nobody is going to destroy the Ponderosa.
Oh, what do you plan to do, Mr. Cartwright? Stop every man who comes over those mountains?
I'll fight for what's mine and what I believe in.
And when a man who believes differently comes along, what do you do then? Kill him?
If I have to.
Pattern of history, Mr. Cartwright. A man with a dream goes into a country knowing he'll be killed. But after him come two more, and then two more. And the military are along to protect them. And then they build a fort to house the military. And soon they own the country.
Yes, it's happened many times.
Be careful history doesn't repeat itself.
Mr. Cartwright, can't you see your way clear just this once? I told you my sister wasn't well, and now we have a wounded man on our hands, and...
Don't beg, John.
You, camp here until you rest up and get your stock in shape. Anything we can do for your sister.
Save your concern, Mr. Cartwright.
Blake, why didn't you tell me about these claims?
Well, I meant to, John. I just didn't get around to
Well,
it.
you were supposed to be following through on that assay report in the Washoe.
Now, John, we have as much right to this watershed land as Cartwright has.
And do you know what hydraulic operations would do to these hills?
I don't care what they'll do to these hills. I just want the gold in these hills.
You'd do just about anything to get it, wouldn't you?
Blake, why don't we just forget about it and go on to Washoe the way we planned?
Well, now, that's easy for you to say, isn't it? You and your brother both, sure. Your father left you a mining company and $1 million to play around with.
Like, what's got into you?
Just this. I want to make it clear that the only thing my father left me was a bunch of debts and bruises on my back. What I got, I dug out of the ground with these hands, and nobody's going to stop me from digging out more of it.
But it's not important. I've told you that before. It has nothing to do with you and me.
Oh, doesn't it? What do you spend your time talking about? That fine mansion where you were raised, the servants you had, the beautiful horses.
Well, you're the one that always asks me about those things. You say you like to hear about them.
And you like to remind me that I never had them.
Blake, that's not so.
Just a second. What?
John, please. You said that you loved me.
I do, Emily. More than anything else in the world, you're everything I've ever wanted.
And those things don't matter. Just give me a chance to get well. And just give me a chance to be everything that you want me to be.
You'll be all right, Emily. Someday we'll have everything we've ever wanted.
So you're gonna let old Ben Cartwright back you down, huh?
Who says so?
Pennington?
You take your orders from Pennington?
Well, now, you know, I was beginning to wonder about that. A few years ago, when I first knew you, there was no doubt about it. I took my orders from you.
You still do.
Oh, sure. Maybe when you two get married, you can use your wife's money to keep me on the payroll. That's more like it. You just say the word, boss.
You just remember that. I'm boss.
That's the way I like it. Boss. You know the bug hunter, Flannery? He says he's going on alone.
Yeah, let him go.
Well, I figured to. Except I was thinking, it'd be a shame if the Cartwrights should shoot him down on sight. Wouldn't it?
What makes you think they will?
Well, you never can tell. Of course, if they did, it'd go kind of hard on them. Cold-blooded murder and all. Yep. There must be a lot of folks up here in these hills that don't like the Cartwrights any better than we do. Think what'd happen if they was to murder him. Cold blood, a poor, harmless little old coot like Flannery over there.
Come on, Christian, let's go.
Think I'll take myself a little ride.
Krug?
Yeah?
Where?
In the Cartwrights' front yard?
Let's see if we can make up for yesterday and dry some cows today.
Right.
Hey, Paul. Ain't that bug hunter?
Yes, it's Mr. Flannery.
Do you want me to run him off, huh?
No. It's all right.
Mr. Cartwright, I must apologize for coming.
Cartwright coming.
Flannery.
He was walking toward us. He was shot from behind.
How'd it happen? An unarmed man whose only crime was setting foot on your precious ground.
I wouldn't do that.
You butchers. All of you.
You're quick to accuse, Miss Pennington. But wasn't it you who mentioned about a man being sent into the enemy camp in order to be a known casualty? This was a planned murder. Someone here is guilty.
Well, now, who do you think's going to believe you? If decent people in this part of the country hear about this, they're going to ride on your place and wipe out the whole stinking Cartwright clan.
Looks like you got it all figured out, don't you, McCall? How would you like to start wiping us out right now?
That's enough. Take their guns.
What are you going to do? Kill us too?
You're going back to California. All of you.
Oh, you're drawing a pretty fine line on murder, aren't you, Cartwright? And we're out of supplies. I told you my sister's sick. And you're going to make us go back through that country without food and guns and our stock worn out? Oh, isn't that murder?
Mr. Pennington, Paul wouldn't do that. We brought along fresh stock and supplies by mule pack. I'm going to be riding along with you.
You? As our guard?
Well, no, ma'am. You see, I'm going to be going along to make sure no harm comes to you. Ma'am, I wouldn't hurt you. Not for nothing. Can Little Joe or Adam go along instead of me?
We talked it out, Hoss. We think you can do this best. Come.
Hey! Be careful what you're driving, you hear? Ain't no use in making it any rougher on the lady than you got her.
Notice your partner ain't talking to you. Of course, I never could figure you and him being partners in the first place. Not that I blame you, none. You got some money out of it. Pretty girl.
Krug, you're going to push me once too often.
I am? I don't mean to. As a matter of fact, I wanted to talk to you about maybe working out a partnership on them claims you filed.
What makes you think I'd want to share with you?
Well, I was thinking about you and that bug hunter.
I didn't kill him.
Oh, I guess you didn't. You're just about as responsible as if you did.
All right, let's get moving.
Well, you have to admit I do pretty well with what I have.
Thank you. You could have a lot more.
You'll be out in the desert, out on our way back to California.
Are you blaming me for that? You think it was my fault that Flannery was shot?
No, I'm just a little sick of the way fighting and killing follows everything you do.
You and your pretty little world, all wrapped up in tinsel. How do you think I got that land we hydrauliced in California? You sat back in your plush office while I went out there and fought for what we had, every inch of it.
Aren't you forgetting why we're making this trip? Well, didn't we agree on it? We both knew Emily had to get to a drier climate.
John.
Well, are you forgetting, or are the things more important?
Can't you control that miserable coughing? These fir branches will make a good bed for you, ma'am. You just put them in the ground with the needle end up. You'll sleep a lot better. The smell of that fur will be good for that cough, too. Night. Boys got you some extra oats coming tonight. A long, hard climb we had today. But you're gonna feel a lot better as soon as old Hoss gets you all scrubbed down here. They like for you to talk to them. It makes them feel good.
You really love horses, don't you?
Oh, yes, I like all animals. You can trust them.
But you can't trust people?
Well, I wouldn't say that. It's just that some folks have got a natural mean streak in them that animals just don't know nothing about, I guess.
You giving it up?
Well, what do you expect me to do? That big moose could break your back with one hand.
Yeah. Rough on men, but easy on horses. He pays more attention to the stock than he does to us.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Maybe if one of the horses was to go lame tomorrow?
Even if we could handle that big moose, we still need guns and ammunition before we could tackle the rest of the Cartwrights.
That foreman of theirs, Jose Moreno, he don't live far from here. He'd have guns.
What about Pennington, Emily?
Well, now, that's your problem. Me, I'm just a simple man. All I care about's the gold.
Ma'am, you're gonna see some mighty pretty country today. Matter of fact, if you'll look off right through the trees down there, you can see the lake now. Pretty, ain't it? That off horse over there's got a mighty tender mouth, so don't go sawing the lines too hard, you hear? Hey, horse! You better come here a minute. What's the trouble? Horse has gone lame. How long's he been lame? Oh, about a half hour, I guess. Why didn't you tell me? Oh, boy, looks like you picked up a stone.
Now, either you get the guns from Marino your way, or we'll get them our way.
Hey, Senor Hawes! My good friend, I'm so glad to see you. Ay, caramba. The miners, they still dig like gophers down at the flats. Senor Hawes, is everything all right?
Jose, we're gonna have to be careful.
I wouldn't. Well, you finally came to it, didn't you? Outright murder.
I told you I wouldn't let anything stand in my way. It's the only way to fight the Cartwrights. Don't you see? I was only thinking of you, Emily.
You never could think of anybody but yourself, Blake. And you never will.
I'll stop you, McCall, somehow.
I can handle that, boys.
We're still partners, John, if you want it.
Now, I said I'd stop you. It's the last thing I ever do.
Tie him up. Emily, come on.
I wish Horse would get back soon. It takes 4 men to replace him.
Well, if you can't hold up your end of the work, brother, you know. why are we wasting so much time? What do you expect to find, anyway?
Well, maybe you can see through a wall. Maybe you know how many guns we're up against.
Of course, had a rifle and a revolver with him. If they took his guns, that's only...
They took Jose's guns, too.
They want us out in the open. They wouldn't have brought Jose's body to the house if they didn't.
All right, Adam's right. Come on, let's get going.
I'm sorry, I was thinking just about horse.
Cut!
You look mighty unhappy, man. What you need is a little loving to cheer you up.
Leave me alone! Let go of me!
Never mind me. Get Emily out of here. Go on!
Well, now, maybe we should have tied the girl up, too.
Shall we go after him?
Not yet. Let's see how far he'll get with a sick girl on his hands.
It's all right, huh? I'm right here by you. I could get you something to eat if you're hungry. The woods are full of good things to eat if you know what you're looking for.
I just want to rest for a long time.
Well, we can't stay here too long. They're gonna be after us.
I don't care. I really don't care.
That ain't no way to talk. Let me help you, Miss Emily.
Get away from me, can't you? Leave me alone.
Well, I just hate to see you hurting so, Miss Emily, that's all.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shout at you.
I can't hardly stand to see nothing hurt. It's as pretty as you are. Now, you stay right here. I'm gonna take a look around. No sign of them, but that don't mean they ain't right behind us. We best be on our way.
You can't keep running forever. You carried me half the night. Why don't you rest a few minutes? I'll keep watch. Do you really think I'm pretty?
I think you're real pretty. Emily, I think you're as pretty as I am ugly.
You're not ugly, Hoss. Forgive me for saying it. Please?
Oh, it's all right. I've heard it before. We best move on.
And by what right does a murderer like old man Cartwright tell you where you can mine and where you can't? This man, Flannery, he didn't even own a gun. And old man Cartwright shot him down. You want to know why? All right, I'll tell you why. Because the real gold strike is on the Ponderosa. Not in that blue stuff they've been running into over at Washoe. That's why Cartwright and his boys are willing to kill and they'll keep right on killing. Move in on those murderers. And get out of this blasted blue stuff and into the real gold strike.
I'm with you, McCall. In fact, we're all with you. Right, boys?
Follow me at Horseshoe Canyon.
It's working out better than you hoped for, boss. Old man Cartwright and the two boys, and they're coming in alone.
Oh, good. They'll never know what hit him. Come on. And bring my partner with us.
Horace, I'd like to explain to you about Blake McCall.
You don't have to explain nothing to me, Miss Emily.
You see, I only saw the good side of him.
Well, I reckon that's the way it is sometimes. You look at a cactus and you see a rose, because a rose is what you want to see. I don't reckon there's anything wrong with wanting to see something good and pretty. Sometimes I even do that myself. I get sort of lonely-like, and I look for good and pretty things.
What sort of pretty things do you look for?
Well, if it's the springtime, there's this canyon I go to. It's plumb full of dogwood, and there's 1,000 blossoms on every tree. And there's a smell of the damp leaves in the air and little ferns around on the ground.
Sounds lovely.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Why?
Because it's sort of a special place for me, and well, I'd like to take you there. I'd like to show you the little gold-backed ferns. You press them on your hand, and the gold comes right off just like it's stardust right out of the sky. I ain't never took nobody else there. But I'd like to take you.
I don't think there's anything else I'd rather see.
Miss Emily, I want you to stay right here on the Ponderosa.
Horace, don't you realize I'm very sick?
I know that, but I want to take care of you. I want to take care of you all of my life.
I couldn't bear it having you feel sorry for me.
Oh, I ain't feeling sorry for you, Miss Emily. What I'm trying to say is that I like you, and I'll be right back.
Very nice.
Horace, what is it?
It's Pa and Adam and little Joe. McCall's got at least a dozen men down there. Pa and them don't stand a chance. I gotta stop it.
Horace, you can't. You'll be killed.
Miss Emily, I gotta.
You can't go.
McCall! Here I am, McCall, up here! I'm coming, McCall!
Hold your fire. Want to tip off old man Cartwright and his boys?
Well, Hoss, looks like you have things under control.
Yeah, reckon I sort of lost my temper.
All right, you clam jumpers. Get back to your diggings. It was McCall's idea, Mr. Cartwright. I didn't want no part in it. Get off this land, all of you.
Yes,
Move.
sir.
Yes, sir. All right, Pennington.
Paul, wait a minute. Little Joe, you got it all wrong. Mr. Pennington here saved my life.
Oh, Pennington. I guess we owe you thanks.
Thank you. Is Emily all right?
It's fine. We gotta get a doctor for her. What's old Doc Riley doing up there? He sure has been up there a long time.
Well, how is she, Doctor?
She wants to talk to you, Mr. Pennington.
Well, what did the doctor say?
What the doctor had to say isn't really very important. Would you take that? I'd like to go back to San Francisco.
What? Emily, you know what the doctors there told you. This is a climate for you. Why, in 3 months' time, you'll be completely recovered.
John, you know better.
Oh, I don't know better. I refuse to give up.
It isn't a matter of giving up. It's being able to face the truth. I had to face the truth about Blake, and I think that makes it much easier for me to face this.
I'll find another doctor. Well, I'll do something.
No, John. You've done much more than a brother should do anyway. I don't want to be a burden to you during the time I've left. I'm going back.
Well, then I'll go with you.
No, I don't want you to do that. I want you to go on to Washoe and to this new Virginia city. Just the way you planned.
Oh, well, you think I'd leave you?
I want to go back today.
Today? Why? You're in no shape to travel.
Please let me do what I have to do. I'm not really so brave, you know. It's just that I've accepted it. And I don't want to take a chance on tomorrow.
Well, there must be something I can do.
Yes, I'll tell you what you can do. Get my clothes from the wagon because I want to look my very best. John, please don't tell Hoss.
There's a wagon train crossing the Sierra into California, and the wagon master's going to meet us down at Truckee Meadows. You take good care of her.
That'll be fine, Hoss. Thank you. God bless you, John.
Wish you didn't have to go back so soon.
I wish that, too.
Maybe I ought to go along with you.
No. You're needed on the Ponderosa. Hoss, tell me about the canyon and the dogwood in bloom.
I ain't so good about talking about it.
The goldback ferns that you press against your hand. And the gold comes off just like it was stardust right out of the sky.
Really? Come back this spring, and it'll be there just like I told you about it. Will you come back? I'll take you there.
You go there, Hoss. And when the spring comes and the dogwood's in bloom, you go to the canyon. And I promise you I'll be there. I love you, Hoss.
You hear that, little Joe? She loves me. Me, old Hoss. I'm gonna get mad, little Joe. What's the matter? What's wrong? What have you been telling these people?
You must have known Miss Pennington was very ill.
Hoss, you quack. If you told her something...
Do you think it's a pleasure for me to tell a dying girl she's got only 1 month to live?
You're all liars. Paul, make them tell me they're lying.
It's God's will, son. Son, I've had to bury 3 women I loved. Your ma, Adam's, and his. For a while, it's a hurt you have to bear alone.
Don't understand, God. You gotta help me.
Huh?
Paul. Paul,
Hoss, there's plenty to do.
You think I'd trade you this beautiful cloth for them few measly skins?
Not many beaver left in mountains. Too many hunters.
Well, that's your problem, Injun. You want some more cloth? You bring us in some new skin. Good skin, savvy?
But I told my wife here that I'll get a new bright cloth.
Oh, get out of here. I got no time, no nothing for Injun. Take these skins with you.
Oh, wait a minute, Vern. Party's been kind of dull the past couple of days.
Well, Brother Mike, you found some more booze, huh?
Yeah, I found some more booze.
We go now.
Oh, what's your hurry, friend? You can have all the cloth you want. Just give us some good pelts and we'll keep your scores till you bring them in.
No. These wives.
I don't care what they are. We'll just hold on to them till you bring in the pelts, huh?
No, Mr. Wilson!
Get out of here, you come back here again and I'll kill you!
Hey, what my brother's done, we'll kill you!
That's a little better, huh? Now we got a little more practice.
Now, you boys have a good time in San Francisco. And be careful of that Barbary Coast. Don't want either one of you shanghaied.
Boy, you just relax.
If Horse gets in any trouble, I'll take care of him, Bob.
Oh, you just make sure one of those spangly women don't take care of you.
And get back as soon as possible. Now, business is business, but we need you back here in the Ponderosa. Now, get! Hope they make out.
Don't worry, Pa. San Francisco's no worse than Virginia City. Well, I'm going to check on those new steers down at the bottom camp. I'll see you at dinner.
Yeah, well, don't wait for me. I got some business in Virginia City.
Bruno. What happened to you?
Who did this? They took my wife.
Your wife?
Wilson Station. They're drunk, Adam. They have guns. Namta's wife. My wife.
And they did this when you tried to stop them?
My wife. They have her. They will...
You don't have to tell me. We'll get them. Can you ride?
Namta ride to Ringnose. For Braves.
Ringnose is a hothead. Why didn't he go to Winnemucca? This is Paiute land, not Bannock.
Namta say, Shoshone people not coward like Paiute. He say, Bannock's ride, kill Wilson man.
They attack Wilson Station, this whole country will go up in flames. Come on, Bruno, we gotta beat them there.
Adam Cartwright. Ringnose calls Braves, Adam Cartwright.
We still have time.
I don't know what's the matter with him. You think we weren't treating him right or something?
I've tried to be friendly. I even offered him some of this good booze.
Yeah. All right, squads, come on out. Outside, we're going to teach you some manners. Come on. Come on. Come on, you're going to have a drink. No. Look, when a white man offers you a drink, you take it.
Let her go.
Cartwright, what are you doing here?
I said let her go. I wouldn't try it. Now drop it. Easy. Kick it over here. You too.
What's all this fuss over a couple of women?
Indian women. Bruno, get him back to the Ponderosa. We'll take care of him there.
Burn. Burn. Burn.
I'm sick.
That Cartwright stole our women. Let's go get him.
Go on. I'm sick.
Phil. Phil, wake up. You dirty score stealer. I'll teach him when I get him. Dirty Indian lover. We'll see about that Adam Cartwright.
Inside.
We head for Sun Canyon. We go.
Chance. All right, Wilson.
I heard that holler. There was hundreds of them all over the place. Coming right at me. All painted up and naked.
Who was it? Winnemucca?
Yeah. Yeah, that's who it was. Winnemucca. Oh, Winnemucca himself. Well, I had to get. I started to ride. I saw some of them break in the station and drag out Byrne, Phil. I heard him scream. My own brother and my partner. And I couldn't do nothing to help him. It was off.
But why? Why Winnemucca? Of all people.
Men, them Paiutes are running wild. Killed 7 or 8 men over in Sun Canyon.
7 or 8 men. Do you know who they were?
Not all of them, but they flat butchered Joe and Ellie Lawrence right outside their cabin. Killing women. I don't need to know no more. Let's go get them!
Hold it! Hold it! I agree. The Paiutes must be punished. If it's war, it's war. But you just can't stampede out the door. We've got to get organized.
Maybe you're right, Major. You go ahead and start organizing.
Well, I agree. I wasn't a major in the Army for nothing. We'll do this the Army way. We'll get as many men as we can.
Oh, we'll get you close to 100.
Don't reckon we need that many to handle a mangy mess of Paiutes. But anybody who wants to join us, tell them to come along. We'll march at daybreak.
Stewart, you carry a lot of weight around here. More than anybody. They say you're the first citizen of Virginia City. Now, you and I, we haven't always seen eye to eye. But we both know that an Indian war would be disastrous.
Ben, I just don't believe it's as serious as you make out.
You didn't see them down there. Well, Ormsby's raising an army. It's hysteria.
Well, Ormsby's no drunken fool. He's a good soldier. At least he used to be.
That has nothing to do with it. We just can't stand by and let them march.
Did you talk to them?
Well, there wasn't a chance of being heard. Anyway, I'm not the man for it. Need someone like you. Someone from town, someone they know.
All right, Cartwright, I'll be there at daybreak, but I don't believe there'll be much of an army once our brave soldiers sober up.
Well, it doesn't take much of an army to start an Indian war.
They'll be all right now. They're in good hands. I think it might be a good idea if you were to stay here tonight.
Thank you, Adam Cartwright.
Fools, everybody's gone mad.
What's wrong?
Oh, the Paiutes ran wild. Wiped out Wilson's station, killed 7 or 8 people in Sun Canyon, and now Virginia City's gathering an army to go after them.
Well, it wasn't the Paiutes, it was the Bannocks of the Shoshone tribe, Ringnose's people.
What makes you say that?
Bruno, Numta, their wives are inside being cared for.
Why, what happened?
Wilson, a drunken brother of his, they held him prisoner and mistreated him.
So that's the truth of the matter. Well, why would Wilson accuse the Paiutes for what happened?
Shift the blame from himself, protect his own dirty skin. Pal, we can't let him attack Winnemucca and the Paiutes. We got to stop him tonight.
Not tonight. Dozens of them were gathering when I left there. Drunken, loud, boisterous. Nobody could talk to them tonight.
Well, what about Bill Stewart? They listen to him.
Oh, I've already talked to Stewart. Oh, he'll reason with them in the morning, but we'd better be along, too. Nobody will believe it wasn't the Paiutes.
I felt like killing those Wilsons myself when I saw their women. But why did Ringnose have to kill those people on his way back to the mountains?
The primitive people, son. Primitive and proud. Once they've tasted blood.
Yes, sirree, General.
This is a sorry army. Where are all those men you promised me?
Well, you know something, General? Overnight, most of them boys sobered up.
We got enough. All I want to do is get out there and shoot me some Indians.
You may have your chance, Mr. Wilson, with a few dozen men against the Paiute Nation.
Oh, we can... All right, you men, listen to me. Listen to me.
What do you want here, Stewart?
I want to stop you from making fools of yourselves. Ben Cartwright knows Indians better than any man in Nevada. Now, he tells me that the Wilson Station massacre was not done by the Paiutes, but it was done by the Bannocks of the Shoshone tribe higher up in the Sierras.
That's a lie. But I was there, wasn't I?
You were there, all right. Maybe they ought to know what you did there.
Listen to him. If it wasn't for Adam Cartwright, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. It were his fault.
What do you mean, Wilson?
He came in just before it happened with one of his Indian friends. Said he wanted me to sell the Indians some booze. When I said I wouldn't do it, he said it had the whole Paiute tribe down on me. Man, I saw it. I was there. I saw them Paiutes with my own eyes. They took my brother and they took my partner and they tore him up in little pieces. Now we gonna let him get away with it.
All right, now. No time to stand here and argue. If you men go out, drunk and disorganized, against Winnemucca's warriors, you'll be destroyed.
I tell you, the Paiutes are innocent. Cartwright, that massacre took place before noon. Within an hour, there wasn't a Paiute in town. And Wilson didn't get back here with the news until late afternoon. Explain that if you can.
The Indians have ways.
I thought so. Murder has been done by Indians. We moved to punish them. All right, men, let's go.
Just a minute. All right, Ormsby, go out to Winnemucca, but go seeking a parley, not as a war party. Find out what the Paiutes have to say about all this.
You going to ride with us, Mr. Stewart?
No, I'm not. I can do more for you by staying here and keeping in touch with the authorities in Washington.
I will go along with you, Major. My son and I.
All right, we need every man. Those of you with horses, mount up. The rest of you fall in.
General, fall in what?
With this, I go to fight Indians.
Up there. Signal fires.
They've heard us coming for miles.
We do not know how many there are or what their purpose is. Paco will tell us.
The diggers from Sun Mountain come.
How many are there, Paco?
Maybe 3 tens. Ben Cartwright and his son, the one called Adam, right at their head.
Must Sharp Peak itself fall upon my father to make him see?
I see nothing but a great mistake.
It is a mistake that will kill your people. Even your friend Ben Cartwright rides with them.
Ben Cartwright rides to talk.
With a rifle in his hand?
Would my young war chief see his people die?
I would protect them.
Since when is war a better protection than peace?
We have asked for no war. We have killed no one. But the white man's army moves not toward the sky home of the Bannock people. They come toward us.
Though we want only peace, we would be fools if we did not think that war might come. This we will do. My son will take the warriors of the tribe to the place of the tall rocks. Each brave will have a white man in his gun sights, but do not fire unless we are fired upon first. I and the other elders will meet below the rocks. We will take counsel with the whites. We will speak for peace. But should there be war, you are the war chief of our people, my son. Defend them.
Got a lot of brass.
It's a call for a parley, Major.
It's too late for a parley. We'll take him in.
I wouldn't try it.
What'd you say?
Take a look around. One behind every rock.
Treacherous devils.
So what'd you expect, a welcome mat?
Come along, Major. We'll parley.
Cover him, they're gonna parley!
Hold it, young boy.
Yeah, hold it. Come on, listen. Yeah.
It is an evil thing to see Ben Cartwright ride to war.
I ride for peace, O Chief of the Paiutes.
Then my eyes fail me, for I see men ready for battle.
Stop beating around the bush. Now look here and...
Shut up, Ormsby. You want to get us all killed? The Paiute wants peace. We want peace. Will we talk?
We will talk.
Talking to them murdering devils. If I had me a clear shot at one, I might show them how to talk.
Mike, look. I got a Paiute for you.
Yeah. Now this one's for my brother.
Stop your firing! Stop shooting! Stop firing! Stop firing!
Enough Indians for you, Mike.
on, son! Come on! They're everywhere! Let's get out of here!
Good Lord. All these men. Ormsby, too. It's a massacre.
My son is dead. Dead.
Stampeding out there. They're out of their heads with fear. We've got to do something.
Yeah, well, you better do it quick. There's a couple of thousand Indians out there, and they're on their way here by now. Instead of cleaning him up, you better put a rope around his neck.
What do you mean?
He led us into a trap, that's what I mean. Everybody knows him and the Paiutes are thicker than blood.
They killed his son.
His son ain't dead. As soon as the shooting started, I saw his son run off the Indians.
You talk, Wilson, but you better be telling the truth.
Well, I saw Winnemucca drag him up himself. From the looks of things, it didn't take much dragging.
Wilson? It's true?
I wouldn't count on it, Ben. If Adam is alive, it'll just mean that a lot of people will ask questions as to why he was the only man spared.
I don't care what questions people ask, just as long as he's alive.
Ben, go back to your ranch. Go on now. If the word gets around, it'll just mean trouble. Now, go on.
You're letting him get away with murder.
Shut up, Wilson. We need help, that's for sure. Charlie Hungerford commands a battalion of militia on the other side of the Sierra at Placerville. Send messengers there.
I'll go.
All right. We'll send a couple of men along with you. Come up to my office and I'll make out an official request.
I know what to tell them.
I'd rather put it in writing, if you don't mind.
Winnemucca, have you gone mad?
Be silent! Why does our enemy yet live?
There are many weapons. Some take lives, some save them.
We have beaten them. Everywhere they run before us. Even now the diggers cry in fear over what awaits them. Before morning, their Virginia city could be ashes if we were to move now.
It is plain to see the son of Winnemucca thinks he was sired by a fool, for he talks like one. Adam Cartwright, but for my hand, you would have long ago have fed the fires. Answer me in truth.
If I can.
Now that we have beaten them, what will the diggers do?
You know that as well as I do.
Tell them with your lips.
They will send to California. The militia will come. The army.
How many?
110s.
He lies. Let me kill him now.
No!
Are you a woman? Did not his father kill Gray Bear before your very eyes?
My young wolf grows careless and he's howling.
Winnemucca, speak to my father. There are men of honor in Virginia City. There can yet be peace.
Can there be peace, Adam Cartwright?
But there has to be peace. You can't fight the California troops. There is trees on the Ponderosa without number.
They cannot fight. Did we not destroy them? Did not the remaining handful run back to their caves like cringing dogs?
You fought a bunch of half-drunken miners out on a picnic. A lark. But next time you'll fight soldiers and they'll outnumber you 2 to 1. Tell them, Winnemucca, I speak the truth.
He speaks the truth. But Ben Cartwright's words hangs heavy on the ears of the whites. He will stop the army.
He can't do that. Only you can.
We will send word to him. We will meet him. He will know it from Winnemucca himself, that if the army from California moves on the Paiute Nation, his son will die. Winnemucca has said it. Take him to his teepee.
We heard about the trouble in Sacramento. Decided horse ought going up to San Francisco. I'd come back and see if I could give you and Adam any help. Where is he?
Winnemucca's holding him prisoner.
Prisoner? Was he all right?
Well, I received word through a messenger last night. Winnemucca's bringing Adam to Truckee Rock. I'm to meet him there.
Yeah, well, how did this whole
Not
thing...
now. I'll tell you all about it later. Where's my son? Stay. Are you all right, boy?
All right, Pa. Might have vigilantes run you out of San Francisco?
Did the soldiers come from across the Sierra?
They've been sent for.
Then you will stop them, or your son will die.
Winnemucca, we're friends. You must not do this.
My people are my friends. Did not Ben Cartwright shoot a Paiute brave even as we parleyed at Sharp Peak?
He would have killed my son.
I have 100 sons. But you will stop the soldiers, Ben Cartwright, or you shall have no more than 2.
How do you expect us to stop an army?
Pa, Bruno. Bruno and Ringnose.
If Ringnose were to tell the truth about Wilson Station, perhaps the army will not attack the Paiute. But you must give us time to ride to the high mountains.
We will attack no one. But we will defend ourselves in our homes.
Winnemucca, I would talk to my son.
You may talk.
Looks like you got yourself a little hot water this time, older brother.
Yeah, me this time instead of you.
Hate to leave you this way, boy.
I'll be all right, Pa. Junior here'd like to cut my throat, but Winnemucca won't let him.
Said that young Wolf and Adam Cartwright used to ride the war show together as brothers.
Children do foolish things, but they become men.
We'll be back with Ringnose.
What makes you think he'll want to come?
He'll come whether he wants to or not.
Goodbye, Pa. Joe.
Ben Cartwright.
Major Hungerford. Didn't expect you so soon.
We got here as soon as we could. Captain Kelly, we'll take a few minutes rest.
Yes, sir. Lights out! Troops, dismount!
What Mr. Wilson says, we couldn't get here too soon. You know Mr. Wilson?
Oh, yes. Yes, I know Mr. Wilson. My son Adam told me what happened at his station.
Hungerford. Ask him how come his son Adam is with the Paiutes alive, when the rest of the men they caught were chopped to bits. He and his whelp led us into a trap.
Major, it was not the Paiutes that raided his station. It was a party of Bannocks, part of the Shoshone tribe.
Cartwright, you're a liar. Mr. Wilson. Major, I was there. I saw my own brother killed right before me. Winnemucca and some Paiutes, they came in and shut up my place.
It was not the Paiutes, it was the Bannocks. And the reason they killed your brother was because of what you and he did to a couple of Bannock women. The husband of one of them worked in my ranch.
Look, everybody knows that he's been on the side of the Paiutes right along.
Ormsby and his men were killed by Paiutes, weren't they?
The Paiutes were defending themselves. They didn't attack Ormsby. My son Adam is being held hostage by Winnemucca. That's why we're riding to the Bannock chief, Ringnose. He can prove that I'm telling the truth.
Suppose Ringnose won't talk.
He'll talk.
Look, he's not telling you a word of truth. I was there. I saw it all with my own...
Wilson. You open your mouth once more and I'll have you gagged. Ben, I prefer to believe your story. But I'm under express orders from the governor of the state of California to attack the Paiutes and punish them. This much I can do. If you can bring me proof that it was the Bannocks and not the Paiutes that attacked Wilson Station, then I'll parley with Winnemucca and try to make peace.
You must give me time, Major.
I'll march to Pyramid Lake by the longer route. I'll stop once an hour to rest. More than that, I can't do for you, your son, or any man. I'm a soldier, Ben. I'm under orders. I hope you get to Ringnose. and get him back here in time.
Thanks, Major.
You don't believe him, do you?
If what he says is true, you'll go back to Sacramento with me, Mr. Wilson. In irons. Captain Kelly, on patrol.
Leave us. It had been better if you'd lied.
And the soldiers are coming.
You'll never see them arrive.
Stay your hand.
Already the soldiers march. It was your word that Adam Cartwright die.
They are not yet here. Leave us, my son. Is there not a battle to make ready?
Do you remember this knife?
I remember. My father gave it to you.
Yes. I gotta return it to him now.
Once the wild bear knew Washoe. Now he is gone. The white man killed him.
That is so.
And then the antelope, who was the friend of the Paiute. He too is gone. White man kill him.
That too is so.
And now the great sun of the Paiute weakens. And as it crosses the sky, even today will drop behind the mountains and be gone.
Perhaps my father will return in time.
The soldiers already march along Chief Truckee's River. Your father's in the land of the Bannocks. I would like to see your father. A man should see his friends on the day of his death. At the head of the California soldiers rides a man named Hungerford.
I know him. He's a soldier.
Is this the same Hungerford who defeated Shining Brow of the Cheyenne?
It's the same.
100 tens of men and more in cannon. All this to defeat an old man, his son, and 30 tens of Paiutes. Do our small lives mean so much to your people?
Don't fight them, Winnemucca. Wait. Surrender if you must, but give my father time enough to return with Ringnose.
There will be no more talk, even though I willed it. If we must die, we must die. For the ways of the wild things are the Paiutes' ways, and the wild things too are dead. I am sorry for you, Adam Cartwright, for you are a friend and the son of a friend. But the first shot that is fired by the California soldiers will be a signal to my son, and you will die. And even as you die, it will be like a small part of myself that dies with you.
We would talk with Ringnose.
You are brave to ride into the camp of the Bannock.
Well, Bruno, is this the way the Bannock repays his friend?
If you have anything to say, say it to me. The acts of the Bannock people are the acts of their chief.
My son will die if the California army attacks. But more than that, The whole Paiute people will die if Ring Nose allows them to take the blame for the raid on Wilson Station.
War is war, Ben Cartwright. Do you ask that the Bannocks walk into the white man's rope?
My son brought back the wives of Bruno and Numta from the Dark Land. I ask the Bannock to do the same for my son.
And what about us, Ben Cartwright? What will happen to us?
I don't know.
The debt must be paid. Get Numta. We ride.
Indians up in the rocks, sir. There's a lot of them.
Mr. Kelly.
Yes, sir.
Any sign of Ben Cartwright?
No, sir. The rear guard is looking for him.
Well, we can't delay any longer. Have the men from Fort Alcatraz cut around to the high ground. I want a flanking fire on the Indians. Have Sergeant O'Banion move his field piece to the high ground on the other flank. Deploy your companies on both sides of the trail as foragers. Send the bugler to me. You'll advance at my command. Return fire if fired upon, but otherwise let no man fire without orders. Move your men out.
Very good, sir. Sergeant O'Banion, move your field piece to the high ground. First platoon, give him support to his position. Then dismount and form his foragers. Do not fire unless fired upon. Move them out, Sergeant.
Yes, sir.
First platoon, forward, yo!
Do not fire unless fired upon. Dismount and form as foragers. Carry out the order.
Dismount!
There are many.
I told you there would be.
Many eyes to see you die.
Get your interval!
Corporal Hollister, deploy your men on the high ground to the right of that big rock. Carry on.
Follow me. Right. Come on, men. Form is falling. Fall in. Come on, fall on with him there. Up here. Hurry up, hurry up. Fall in. Take an interval. Take your interval, men. Form is foragers. Come on, men. Form is falling. Fall in. Come on, fall on with him there. Up here. Hurry up, hurry up. Fall in.
All ready, sir.
Very good, Captain Kelly.
Form is foragers.
Bugler, sound the advance.
Follow me.
I've been waiting for this, Cartwright. I'm gonna kill you.
Adam, you all right?
I'm all right, pal. We gotta stop him.
Listen. They've already stopped.
God help us, what have we done?
Is it true, Major, that it was all a mistake?
Yes, Captain Kelly, it's true.
Then I'd better not tell the men.
You tell them, Mr. Kelly, loud and clear. I want every one of them to know what happened here today and why it happened.
Yes, sir.
What about the Bannocks?
I appreciate your honesty. That took courage. You will go to California with me.
Major, what will happen to them?
I don't know. They'll have to stand trial. I'll do what I can for them. There's been too much killing already.
Pa?
Winnemucca. Your son lives.
We mourn your dead son.
I do not mourn for my son. I mourn for all my sons.
Marshal.
Morning.
Just tell me where I can find the offices of your newspaper.
Turn it to First Street, about a half a block down. You can't miss it.
Thank you kindly. Hey, can I help you? Hey, the boy needs a hand.
Oh, the Cartwrights can take care of themselves.
Well, it sounds like he's getting the worst of it.
Yeah, sounds like it is.
Looks like somebody in there is hard to convince. Say, you are the marshal here, aren't you?
That's right, stranger.
Well, shouldn't you go in there and break it up?
Reckon not. People in this town mind their own business.
No business in that poker game.
Look, I told you to stay out of it.
Listen, little Joe, Pa told me to take care of you, and that's exactly what I aim to do.
Okay, well, I can take care of myself.
Little Joe, you get up on that pony right now, or else I'm just going to naturally clobber you.
Who's the big fella?
Oh, him? He's another Cartwright.
I'm new in Virginia City.
So I noticed.
It's quite a town. Who are the Cartwrights?
Oh, I reckon you'll find that out soon enough. I haven't asked you who you are, have I?
Oh, that's right, you haven't.
Maybe you shouldn't ask so many questions. Like I said, this is the kind of town where folks mind their own business.
Good man? Oh, yes, sir. It won't be long, my dear. Mind telling me whose horse I'm holding, ma'am?
Well, you haven't been around Virginia City very long.
A couple of hours, that's all.
Judge Jeremy C. Billington.
Oh, is that so?
The C stands for Clarence. Judge Jeremy Clarence Billington.
Judge Jeremy Clarence Billington.
He's the judge here in Virginia City.
Yes, so I've noticed.
I'm his wife. The judge says I'm a big help to him in his career.
Oh, I can see that for myself, ma'am. Virginia City Superior Court judges, many friends in Virginia City, have prevailed upon him to again seek office in the coming election as judge of the Superior Court. Very nice. There you are, my good man. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Many?
How many times have I spoken to you about talking to strange men?
I wasn't talking to him. He was talking to me.
If you're trying to sell shares in your diggings, old-timer, I'm not interested.
Well, as a matter of fact, you're looking at the most unsuccessful prospector that ever blistered his hands on a pick handle.
And what brings you to a newspaper office?
Your letter offering me a job.
What's your name, friend?
Sam Clemens.
Sam Clemens!
Well, I figured as long as I was starving, I might as well do it sitting on my backside at a job I know something about.
You didn't strike it rich, huh?
Good-looking press. No, all I did was prove how little an Eastern tenderfoot knows about mining.
Sam, it's good to see you. And I think you're going to like Virginia City.
Well, I've been studying some of the people. How often do you publish?
Every day.
Every day? A little one-horse town 2,000 miles west of the Mississippi?
Sam, the way we see it, the Mississippi's 2,000 miles east of Virginia City. Sam, you're looking at the only Bible the miners around here have any time to read.
And what if they can't read?
Then they get someone who can read it to them.
I like that. I think I'm going to like this town.
It's a city. Virginia City.
Virginia City. A noisy, rough lady with a lot of pride. I think I'm going to like her.
Over here.
What are you
just eating my supper.
You mean drinking it, don't you?
You be mighty careful of that campfire. As soon as you get through eating, you clear out of here.
I mean to, mister.
Hey, we got a lot of cattle here on the Ponderosa. If fire got out of control, we'd be in trouble.
Reckon I know that. Anyhow, I'm just passing through.
Well, the next time you just go around, you hear? Come on.
High and mighty. Think I ain't got no sense. Telling me to put out a fire. Them Cartwrights. Oh, get their comeuppance someday. Be the spirit of some engine come back to Earth. Come on, Mule. Let's get out of here.
Things aren't always just what they seem in this town, Sam.
Well, I'm learning fast. The Cartwrights like to fight. Judge Billington's word is law. And his wife, say, where'd she come from, anyway?
She was in the chorus of a traveling girlie show.
Oh, that figures. You know, I might write a series of articles on the colorful citizens of Virginia City.
Which would land you in jail or up on Boot Hill. Well, let's get back to paper.
Right. Quite a lot of characters you got here. What kind of things they like to read?
Well, anything, as long as you keep it humorous. These men see death and disaster in the mines every day. They want to read something that'll make them laugh.
And make them forget that maybe tomorrow they'll be dead or broke or both.
That's right.
Well, it's about time you fellas got home.
What's new in town?
Still as a tomb, Paul.
Yeah, nothing happening.
Yeah. Hey.
Bunch of men camped in High Valley.
What are they doing there?
I don't know. Let's find out.
All right, come on, let's go.
All right, hurry it up.
Here they come. Get that stuff in the wagon, quick.
What are you men doing here?
Wait a minute, Cartwright. We don't want any trouble.
You're trespassing on private property, mister.
Well, you fellas own so much land around here, it's kind of hard to figure where your property ends and the rest of the world begins.
Well, if you have any trouble figuring it, mister, we'll be happy to oblige you.
Oh, we're pulling out.
What were you doing here in the first place?
Doing a little sightseeing. Thought one day you might want to sell off some of this land.
What have you got in the wagon?
Just some prospecting equipment.
Let's not hold them up, boys. The man said they were moving on. The next time you want to know where the rest of the world begins, you might try asking.
On up.
Wait a minute.
What is it?
It's like some kind of surveying equipment.
Looked like them guys' land when they said something about buying some land.
They're interested in land, all right. I just don't think they're interested in buying any of it.
Drinks are 2 bits, old-timer.
Oh, half a drink, maybe?
I can't recommend it, but help yourself.
Oh, thank you. That's mighty sociable of you, stranger. Mighty sociable. I don't know you, do I?
Nope.
Then how come you...
Well, let's just say that today I'm filled with the milk of human kindness.
That don't taste much like milk.
Or human kindness, either.
I sure needed that one.
Covered a lot of territory today, huh?
Oh, all the way from Ponderosa.
Ponderosa? I didn't know the Cartwrights allowed prospecting.
Oh, they don't. They run me off at high noon. But they'll get their comeuppance. I never saw a spirit dogging a place yet that trouble didn't bust out.
A what?
A spirit. This one lives in the trees. It come out and watched me all the time I was fixing to leave.
Who watched you?
The spirit.
And what did the spirit look like?
It was big and black and active as 2 tomcats on a back fence.
How big?
Well, could have been about 10 foot, maybe.
Maybe even more?
Could have been 15 or 20 foot, maybe.
And wild, huh?
Oh, wildest thing you ever saw. Wilder than a horseshoe zephyr. It flit from tree to tree with a manzanita bush in each hand and a wagon tongue in his mouth.
20 feet tall. That's what I call a man-sized spirit.
Reported to be 20 feet tall and covered with long black hair. The wild man is said to flit from tree to tree carrying off cattle and picking his teeth with a wagon tongue. By all that's wonderful, whatever inspired this?
Well, you said your readers liked a few laughs.
Just so no one questions your sources.
Well, I admit it's second-hand reporting, but my source was pretty reliable. That is until he had a couple of drinks under his belt, and then he tended to exaggerate.
Well, it's plain enough to see what they were up to. You follow High Valley, bridge the Truckee, and drop down the west slope. A natural route for cutting a road right through our property.
Road or railroad?
They intended to sneak in, make their survey, and sneak out before anybody ever saw them.
Well, the question is, why and for whom?
Come quick! Come quick! Too many people! People everywhere! All over Ponderosa!
Upsing, you got a bigger imagination.
Hey, Pa, you and Adam better get out of here. There's people all over the place. They come to see the wild man.
What wild man?
Look, right here in the Enterprise.
Wild man of Washoe, loose on Ponder... Now, what fool would put a thing like that in the paper?
Well, there's the name of the man who wrote it, Josh.
Sam, take a look at this telegram. The San Francisco Bugle. Confirm wild man story. Flooded with inquiries.
Big city newspaper, too.
Which one of you fellas is Josh?
Oh, that's sort of a pen name I use.
Did you write this?
The Wild Man story? Yeah, sure I did. How'd you like it, Mr. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Cartwright. Adam Cartwright.
I'm Sam Clemens. I haven't been in Virginia City very long.
Then I'm afraid you're not going to be around very much longer, Mr. Clemens. You see, this little contribution to literature brought 500 people tramping across the Ponderosa this morning.
As many as that?
Yes, they ruined the field of hay and scared the wits out of a herd of cows. We had to rescue 4 of them out of the duck pond. My people are still trying to round up the rest of them.
Well, it was just a bit of sagebrush humor. We had no idea folks would take it seriously.
Yes. Well, I want a retraction of the wild man story to keep these fools off our land.
Oh, well, I'm afraid that's kind of hard to do, Mr. Cartwright. You see, I got the story from a very reliable source.
Then you leave me no choice. I presume you know how to handle a gun.
Oh, now, hold on, Mr. Cartwright.
I haven't got any gun.
Maybe you're pretty good with your fists, huh?
Why, sure. When I was steamboating on the Mississippi, the fellow didn't like me very much. We had quite a fight until I tripped over a rope. Of course, he outweighed me about 5 pounds. Come to think of it, I sort of hate to mess up these new clothes I just bought. Couldn't we settle this a little more peaceably?
Are you trying to make a fool out of me? Now, I want that retraction in tomorrow's newspaper.
Well, you're making this a little difficult. You see, the Enterprise never apologizes for stories it prints. It's kind of a policy.
I see. Well, maybe I can help change that policy.
Now, you understand about that retraction.
You'll get your retraction, Mr. Cartwright.
Thank you.
You all right, Sam?
Whew. I kind of like those Cartwrights.
Somebody across his horse. Maybe it's that Josh fella.
Who have you got there?
Found this boy roaming the hills.
Is he all right?
He's all right. Take him in the wash house. Let Hop Sing wash him up. Come on.
Seems to me this Josh fella had you buffaloed, Adam.
Well, what are you going to do when a man won't fight?
What kind of a man is he? A coward?
I don't know. Anyway, he promised to print a retraction.
Well, I certainly hope he does. I don't want some fool reporter printing stories that'll send more people out here.
It's hard enough as it is to keep an eye out for strangers.
Now, listen, boys, I want you to be careful. Don't ride out by yourselves anymore. If someone is going to pull a land grab on us, they can't hide their hand much longer.
日做工天光做咗黑，跟住有時候做啲咁嘅事群啊，合聲 quit， too much of foolishment.
What's the matter with you?
Work hard, make a fine supper, wash a dish, no time for foolishment.
Now, just settle down, Hop Sing. We got enough trouble around here already.
You got trouble. Hop Sing got the foolishment. Give a boy, you say wash up clean?
Boy? Ain't no boy around here.
Oh, Adam found some lad wandering around. Well, what'd you do with him, Hop Sing?
Him no boy, him girl. What? You go look see, please.
Well, Adam, if you don't know a boy from a girl.
Shut up. Where is he? I mean, she.
Still in the wash house.
Well, bring her in here.
No can do, boys. Burn up clothes. All very bad shape.
You know, I think I better see what I can do about this.
Maybe you just better stay right where you are.
Good luck, Adam.
You in there! Put this on and come on out. I tell you, I found her in the brush, and that's all I know.
Yeah, well, you should have asked me, Adam. I could have told you it was a girl.
Well, what are we going to do with her?
Oh, we'll get rid of her.
This way, Missy.
Sit down. What's your name, child?
Why did you run away from me?
Ain't you got no folks, no relatives?
Well, perhaps you'd rather not talk until morning.
No. I think you're friends. My name is Rosemary Lawson. My father and I left San Francisco to come to Virginia City by wagon. My father was a school teacher, but he wanted to look for silver. We didn't have any trouble until we got into the mountains. And one night, we were camped near the Truckee River. It was very beautiful there. We were very happy. We sat by the fire and Daddy sang some old songs to me. Then I went to bed in the wagon. Later, I was awakened by pistol shots. I looked out and there were strange men in camp. They've killed my father.
I think you've talked enough for tonight, Rosemary. Perhaps see that you get some hot food and prepare that room at the end of the bunkhouse. You rest well.
Remember that filly colt we found in the upper pasture last spring? Some skunk of a hunter had killed its mammy.
Yeah, I remember.
She was scared to death, too. It took us all day long to run her down.
They did more to her than kill her father.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
I'm Dr. Ephraim Lovejoy. I represent, sir, a group of distinguished scientists.
Scientists? Adam, what's in that wagon?
Some kind of steel hooks.
Grappling hooks. I'm going to fish for the body in the lake.
The body? What are you talking about?
With the body of the wild man, of course. Didn't you read about it in the Territorial Enterprise? I expect to get off an immediate report to my scientific group.
What does it say, Paul?
Wild Man of Washoe is dead. His body having been consigned to the waters of Lake Tahoe, it will now sink to a depth of 200 feet where it will remain motionless, encased in a block of ice, while the pressure encountered reduces it to the stature of a child.
I thought they was going to print a retraction.
Yeah, it's some retraction you got, Adam.
Surely, gentlemen, for scientific reasons.
That article was written by a Lion newspaper reporter named Josh. Now head that buggy back towards Virginia City and fast.
And put out the fire.
Well, Adam, looks like you got your retraction. Josh killed off the wild man.
Well, the next time I'm in town, I think I'll pay this Josh fellow a little visit.
And I tell you, my friends, that never in the history of Virginia City has there been a greater need for a guardian of the rights of the working man. The miners who are putting the name Virginia City on the map. And those rights will be guarded. Now then, gentlemen, step up to the bar. The drinks are on me.
That's right, Drink up, boys. It's on the judge.
Yes, sir. There's two ways of winning an election. One's by going around making speeches, and the other's by sitting still and making friends. Friend, here's mud in your eye. Well, I remember you.
And I remember you, Mrs. Billington.
Friend, See you on Election Day. I didn't invite you to sit down.
Thank you anyway. You're a very good health, man. And to the election of Jeremy C. Billington.
You didn't come here to buy my vote.
Well, he's the best man, isn't he? And what I always say, let the best man win.
Don't you worry about it. My husband always wins.
You know, Mrs. Billington, there's a funny thing about elections and contests of any kind. You never really know how they're going to work out. Now, back a couple of months ago, I was in California, a place called Calaveras County. And the folks there seemed to think that they wanted to hold a sort of a little frog jumping contest.
Yeah, I heard about it. You're the fella thinks up all that junk. Signs himself Josh.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call it junk, ma'am.
All right, what would you call it?
Well, I'd call it some pretty fancy writing.
Take my word for it. It's junk.
Well, maybe you're right at that.
A smart fella like you shouldn't ought to be wasting his time writing. Or any other kind of silly stuff like that.
Well, what should I ought to do? You see, I tried prospecting. I couldn't make a dime.
Prospecting? That's almost as bad as writing. There's a lot better ways of making a pile than going out in the hills digging for it.
Yes, I guess there are.
Now, you take politics. There's a big future in politics.
Well, there has been one for the last 5,000 years.
No, I mean right here in Nevada. A fella like you could go places in Nevada.
Well, you see, there are a few places I'd rather see first.
Well, what kind of places you talking about?
Oh, London, Paris, Rome. You see, when you're from Missouri, you've got to get out and take a good look at the world.
Well, whatever for?
Oh, to understand your own hometown, the friends you had when you were a child, sailing down the Mississippi in a raft, and, oh, you know, all kinds of junk like that.
Believe me, you won't make a dime doing that either. The money's out here in Nevada.
Like when you get elected judge?
What's wrong with being elected judge?
Oh, nothing, except the way it's done. You may be able to buy some votes with this, but you won't be able to buy what we print in the Enterprise.
One way or another, my husband's going to be elected judge.
Isn't that sort of up to the voters? Well, I'll see you on Election Day, ma'am. Oh, and just for the record, Mrs. Billington, I may never make a dime writing all that junk, but here's one vote that's sort of hard to buy, and I like to pay for my own drinks.
Sam, I need a filler for page 3. You know, something short and snappy.
Yeah, I know. Give him a few laughs, huh?
What's eating you?
Oh, I don't know, Bill. I guess I'm getting a little tired of writing sagebrush humor.
But you write this kind of stuff so well.
Well, that's just it. It's stuff. I like humorous writing, but I like to say something along with it.
You make the miners laugh. That's the important thing.
It is? How about making them think for a change, huh?
About what?
Well, the election, for instance. About the Right Honorable Jeremy C. Billington. I don't think anybody in Virginia City knows there's another man running for judge.
Well, there's Henry Walker, of course. He runs against Jeremy every time and always loses.
People are getting pretty used to electing Billington judge, aren't they?
Yes, I guess by now they are.
Then why is he spending so much money on his campaign this time,
Now that you mention it, it is kind of unusual.
Yeah, and so are those Paris gowns that Minnie Billington wears. Miners are so busy looking at her low necklines, they forget who's paying for them.
Are you afraid the Enterprise won't print any story you happen to dig up?
You know, I had a little bet with myself that you'd go along with me.
Sam, this is a newspaper, not a comic strip. You come up with a story and an Enterprise will print it.
Just as long as I sign it.
Just as long as you sign it.
All right. Well, let me see.
Let's get out of here.
Just a crease. He ain't hurt bad.
Better have a good story this time, mister.
I've got nothing to say.
Well, you better think of something.
Louis, why take it out on me? The man you want is back in Virginia City.
Get his horse.
Ah, my dear. Today you are the epitome of feminine pulchritude.
Don't you talk dirty to me, Jeremy Billington.
I won't be long, my dear.
You done your lash?
What's the meaning of this? We'll ask the questions.
Gentlemen, I wouldn't like to cite you into my court for threatening.
You sit down.
We didn't come here to threaten anyone. We came here to warn you. Now, you stay away from us, Lash. There'll be no land grab in the Ponderosa.
Next time your men start shooting at us, we won't be bringing them back to you alive.
What do you think happened?
I think railroad stocks took a little drop.
Well, it just doesn't make sense, Pa. Why would they bypass the main railroad line just in order to cut across the Ponderosa?
25,000 acres of prime timber and grazing land. That's reason enough, isn't it? Why, the railroad people could grab that much land just by checkerboarding a right-of-way across our property.
Well, by checkerboarding, they could seal off every other square mile of land.
That's right.
Yeah, but Paul, would any court in the land approve a right-of-way that ain't nothing but a front for a land grab?
Not unless they got to a judge.
Hey, you mean Judge Billington?
I don't think it was any coincidence at all that we found the judge in Lash's office.
I wouldn't put it past the old scallywag.
Is anything wrong?
Hey, Adam. Hey, take a look at what happened to that little boy you found.
Well.
Hey, you sure look pretty.
Thank
you know, I don't understand how I made such a big mistake.
Yeah, that Hop Singh's a pretty good outfitter.
Oh, he bought a lot more than I need. I don't know how to thank all of you.
Somebody come here. Ride up on a mule.
That's all we need. Another scientific expedition. Rosemary, let's find out who this is.
That newspaper reporter.
Afternoon. We printed the retraction about the wild man.
So we noticed. Would you care to meet him?
Wouldn't that be a little hard to do? After all, it was just something I sort of dreamed up.
Well, Mr. Clemens, I think you should be given the opportunity of meeting the wild man. There she is.
You mean she's... That's right, Mr. Clemens. There's your wild man. 20 foot tall with a manzanita bush in each hand and a wagon dog in her mouth. Well, I don't know what they're talking about, miss, but you're the prettiest wild man I ever did see.
Thank you.
Mr. Clemens, to what do we owe this visit?
Well, for one thing, I thought you ought to know there are warrants out for your arrest.
Warrants? Well, I think we ought to talk about this inside. Rosemary, tell Hop Singh we'll have a guest for dinner.
Yeah, I'll take him, you.
Thanks.
Mr. Clemens, I homesteaded the Ponderosa, fought Indians and drove off outlaws. I'm not going to let Lash or anybody else grab my land.
Well, if the railroad got a legal right of way and checkerboarded the Ponderosa with land holdings, what would you do then?
Fight. We've got guns, ammunition, and friends.
You can't fight the law with guns.
I don't think you have the proper respect for guns, Mr. Clemens. But you'd be surprised how many people have.
Oh, I got a lot of respect for guns. Good balance. The thing is that sometimes you get right smack dab into a fight that you can't settle with guns.
Or with fists.
That's right. Now, if our hunch is correct, everything depends on defeating Billington in the election so he won't sell out to the railroad.
Looks to me like we ought to get started then before the election.
You can't defeat a politician with guns, but you might be able to with laughter.
You mean laugh him out of town?
Something like that. Sometimes the pen is mightier than the sword.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Clemens. I think I'd have to put my money on the sword.
Yes, up against that crowd, I think I'd count on my guns.
Oh, wait a minute, boys. Sam, if you want to fight this thing out with your pen, well, that's up to you. But we'll be around with our guns to help you if you need us.
Fair enough.
And I sure would like to know how you're going to go about it.
Just keep reading the Territorial Enterprise.
Professor Personal Pronoun runs for office in Virginia City by Josh. Jeremy C. Billington, friend of the miner, the mill worker, and the back alley dog, spoke at a political rally last night. Most of the speech was devoted to the nobility of Mr. Billington himself. An alarming number of sentences began with the pronoun I, which qualifies the judge as a professor on the subject of personal pronouns. During the discourse, it was possible for this reporter to discover that the professor is against sin, gravy on the vest, and overflowing water closets.
Hey, this fella Josh gets right to the seat of the trouble, don't he?
I guess our friend Josh knows what he's doing after all.
Josh claims Professor Personal Pronoun will provide more free air, stronger zephyrs, taller mine mules. He's making a fool of you.
That doesn't mean a thing. I'll beat Henry Walker by 3,000 votes.
Billington, I've got too big a hand in this game to take chances. No quack newspaper reporter is going to stand between me and the Ponderosa.
Too bad. Well, you had enough?
No, Bill. Billington's got to be beaten for the good of everyone in Virginia City. And I think I might just have the story that'll do it.
Sam. Sam!
I want to see Judge Billington.
I think the judge is retired.
That's all right. He's expecting me. I'm from Lash's office.
It's about time. Is it in gold?
Yes, it's gold, all right. We had to collect it from one of the gambling places. That's why I was late.
Well, let me see it. Let me see it.
And there she stood, nightgown torn right off. Gold pieces 6 inches deep around the prettiest bare feet in Virginia City.
I wish I could have seen that.
Money may be the root of all evil, but a lady without a nightgown sure takes the curse off it. Maybe Mr. Daniel Ash's foreman has a case pending in Professor Personal Pronoun's court. But if he has, we're sure this was just his tribute to feminine beauty.
Beating up that reporter didn't stop him from writing more stories. Well, there's one way we can stop him from ever writing another line.
That might be better all around.
He won't amount to much as a writer anyway. I can make sure of that. Get him out of my way. Permanently.
In this election, do not allow yourselves to be tricked by the special interests, spearheaded by a libelous newspaper determined to overthrow the will of the common people. If I am elected, we will drive these thieves of liberty out of Virginia City, and once more every man will be a king and every woman a queen.
With deuces wild.
My friends!
Get up.
My friends!
Try anything and people get hurt.
My friends, I believe in fair play. That's my motto. Fair play.
What do you charge for it, Billington, huh?
My friends, do not believe the lies perpetrated by a man who refuses to sign his own name to his articles, but insists on being called Jock. My friends, listen to me. You've known me all your lives. My friends.
Shut up. Your friend's my eye. Let's get out of here.
Where's Sam Clemens?
He's covering the political rally. Aren't you folks taking a big chance coming into town?
Well, apparently not as much of a chance as Sam Clemens. We heard he was beaten up.
It didn't stop him. He's still going strong.
Yeah, well, how long can he keep on taking it?
Some help. That must have been quite a rally. I gotta get the story on the presses. All right, now!
Get this story out.
Sounds like you're starting to riot. What happened?
Read about it in your next edition.
Adam, Joe, you next. Go!
Knock off the fast food, will you?
Hey, Josh, I sure am anxious to read that story.
Josh. That's what's wrong.
What's wrong?
I knew it all along. It just wasn't right.
Hey, don't stop writing. Come on, finish it.
For Pete's sake, Sam, finish the story.
Us!
You know, Joe, when I was a boy living on the banks of the Mississippi, I used to dream about becoming a river pilot someday.
Well, dream about it some other time.
Hurry up with that darn story. Huss, watch the back door.
Josh, get down!
You'd have to live on the Mississippi to know what it's really like. The way those big old boats come down the river, the leadsman standing out there on the bow, taking the depth and singing it out to the pilot on the bridge. On a summer evening, it has the sound of music.
Music? If you don't get that story finished, the only thing you're gonna hear is a funeral march.
I can still hear it. Mark 4. Mark 3. Quarter less 3. Half Twain. Quarter Twain. Mark Twain.
Joe, I've got it.
You sure almost did get it, Mr. Clemens.
No, you don't understand. I mean, I finally found my name.
Ain't your name Samuel Clemens?
No, Hoss. I mean my pen name. Mark Twain. That means river running clear, 2 fathoms of water beneath the keel. That's what rivermen call real clear sailing.
Everything's pretty clear around here right now, Mr. Clemens. I don't know about that name, Mark Twain. Seemed to me like I've heard a lot better names than that before. You sure that's a fitting name for a writer?
I don't know, Hoss. We'll just have to give it a try.
You got the finish of that story, Sam?
Everything but the byline. Sign it, Mark Twain.
Mark Twain?
Well, it's better than Josh.
Well, what happened to Samuel Clemens?
I guess we've seen the last of Sam Clemens.
You know something? I like it. Mark Twain.
Mark Twain.
My business to go out of town. There she is, Sam. Hot off the press.
Professor Personal Pronoun won't be around anymore. By Mark Twain.
Well, it was quite a fight, Sam. Yeah, I guess you were right at that. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Anytime you want to visit Virginia City again, you just write us and let us know.
And be sure to sign it Mark Twain so we know who it is.
Bye, Sam.
I sure will.
Bye, Sam.
I'll sign it Mark Twain.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what'd they feed you up there in San Francisco anyhow, little Joe? 2 months and you're skinny as ever.
Yeah, a little uglier, maybe, huh?
And a little bit smarter. I got $5 more ahead this year than you did last year.
Hey, you hear that, Adam? I think that calls for a celebration.
Yeah, you know, I think it's time little Joe took a look inside Julia's palace, huh?
Adam, I said a little celebration.
Well, it was a fair fight. At least as fair as it could be with John Mullane.
He's not hurt too bad. Come on, let's get him over to Doc Martin's.
Every day you're more like a mad dog. Now, you will not provoke any more violence in my place. Do you understand that?
It is amazing to me, my dear Julien, how such tender sentiments can come from trash like you.
Welcome to Julia's palace, Mr.
Cartwright. Joe Cartwright.
Oh, one of the Cartwrights from the Ponderosa?
Yes, ma'am. This is a real nice place you got here. I'm sorry I messed it up.
Oh, don't be sorry. After all, you were defending my honor.
I've never been here before.
Well, you must come back sometime.
I'd like that.
As my guest. I'm Julia Bulette. I'd like to repay you. With dinner here at my place. Tomorrow night?
Yes, ma'am.
Better get the brandy, Tom.
We are of the same kind, you and I, Julie. Where men are concerned, we are the messengers of destruction. You do it through the heart, I do it with the gun. Does it matter to you which way it happens to this young man?
Hey, Pa, you think Julia Bulette might have known my mother?
No, I don't think that's very likely.
Yeah, why not? They both lived in New Orleans.
Yeah, they might just as well have lived on opposite sides of the world.
What do you mean?
Yeah, what I've been trying to say is that the only thing that Julia Bulette has in common with your mother, the fact that she's a woman.
Yeah, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's a very beautiful woman.
Well, come on, Pa. You better hurry up. You want to get to that town meeting on time. Come on.
This is a meeting that'll be attended by Virginia City's leading citizens. Now, sure you don't want to come along?
No, thanks, Pa. I got some other plans.
May I? Miss Bulette?
Why so formal, Ben? It used to be Julia.
Get up.
I'm sorry.
Shall we go in?
Well,
Oh, yes, I've been asked. My invitation said it was supposed to be a meeting of the leading citizens of Virginia City. What did yours say?
Well, mine said the same. Shall we proceed?
Well, looks like everybody's here that's going to show up, so we might as well get things underway. And I guess we all know why we're here, too. Under the ground of Virginia City lies the greatest bonanza of silver known to man. Most of what's on top, though, is nothing more than trash.
The first thing to do is among ourselves, by bringing in effective law and order.
Now, starting with effective law and order, we'll have to raise a permanent city fund to interest the kind of men that we want. Ben, can we expect help from the ranchers?
Well, the ranchers want law and order in town just as much as everybody else. Of course, we'll do all we can, but I don't think that'll be enough.
Yes, I realize that. As a matter of fact, that brings me to...
That brings you to why I was invited here? The kind of money you'll need will have to come from the people who mostly make up this town. The men who work in the mines. They will listen to Julia Bulette. So, gentlemen, I'll take care of raising the money, and the moralizing I'll leave to you. Oh, I know you'd love for me to stay, but I do have a saloon to run. As well as an appointment to keep. Friends, there's a rumor around that we have a very wicked town here in Virginia City. So while the Blue Noses sit up on the hill and cry about it, I think we down here on C Street can do something about it.
Here, here.
Now, the first thing Virginia City will need will be a little money in its pocket. I'm going to make the first donation. Tom, get me a bottle of brandy.
Mm-hmm.
A bottle of brandy. Now, how much are you willing to give this fine old Virginia City brandy?
$100.
$100? This is Julia's Palace, not another saloon. Now, come on, let me hear a respectable bid.
All right, $200.
It's better.
$250.
$300.
$500. Sold. Julia Bulette, $500. Now I'm giving it right back to Virginia City. Who's next?
$200.
$250.
$300.
Oh, come on now.
$350.
$500.
$500. $1 sold to little Joe Cartwright of Ponderosa.
And I give it back to Virginia City, too.
All right, that starts the open bidding over again. Gladys, come on up here. Make 'em pay till it hurts. Come on, little Joe.
Okay, fellas. What am I bid?
Sally, we're going to need something to put all this money in. Oh, that's going to be fine, thanks. Let's see now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I don't carry that kind of money on me. Could I give you a note for it?
No. You saved my honor, I'll save yours. Now we're even.
Oh, your daddy forgot to give you your allowance, huh?
Look, Mullane, just because you shot up a few miners, that makes you the most feared man in town. I'm not shaking even a little bit, so don't get in my way.
You don't think I can make you shake like the others, huh?
I think you only stay alive because no grave will have you.
I think you'd better go.
You going outside, my friend?
Fine.
No, he's going with me.
Monsieur?
Would you rather spend a few minutes with him or an evening with me?
Some other time.
That is a promise. From me.
Make yourself comfortable. I'll fix us a brandy.
No, thanks.
Oh, you drink so little, gamble even less. It's a good thing the finer side of a man burns out in his youth, or I'd be out of business.
Well, I hope you stay in business a long time. I'd hate to see you leave here.
There are not many around here who would agree with you.
They snub you on Sunday and come to your place on Monday. The world's better off without that kind of hypocrite.
Don't try to change the world, little Joe. Enjoy it the way it is. You'll grow older, and then you'll be no different from all the others. I'm sorry about that.
Eh?
Oh.
Could have had your pick of any man in Virginia City. Why'd you ask me here?
John Milan might have killed you.
Mullane? How'd you happen to make friends with a man like that?
It's a long time ago. There's companionship between us.
He's not fit to wipe your shoes.
Don't be too sure.
Judy, just to break up a fight was that the only reason you asked me up here?
It was then.
Is anything wrong?
No, quite the contrary.
You know, you remind me of what I always pictured my mother would look like. She was part French like you, came from New Orleans. And she was a very beautiful woman. All right. Tell me about New Orleans.
I'm afraid it wouldn't be as your mother saw it. From different sides, a mountain never looks the same.
I don't understand.
You will. Goodbye, little Joe. Go home where you belong.
Coming back.
And now for that little promise, huh?
Just relax, Mullane.
I believe I'd do like he says if I was you. Me and Adam figured you boys would be about ready to settle something. Now, why don't you settle it like gentlemen?
A horse will hold your coat. I've told little Joe once, I've told him 1,000 times to keep those elbows in.
Joe's got to learn to fight a lot dirtier than that. A couple of beers, Tom. You know, that kid's got lots of grit. One of these days, he's going to be able to whoop that Frenchman.
Yeah, but this wasn't the day. Tom? Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tom. We'll see you.
All right, Hoss.
$500.
I told you I'd work it out.
It's not the money, little Joe. I was planning to give more than that to the fund anyway. It's just that I think you're beginning to make a fool of yourself.
Why? What's wrong with her?
Oh, nothing. She's a fine woman.
All right, what is it then?
Well, it's just that... Well, she's seen much more of the world than you have, boy.
I see. That makes her bad.
Well, Doc.
Ben?
Good to see you. Come on in now. Well, what brings you our way?
Well, I just come down from the mines at Gold Hill.
Oh, how are things down there?
Ran into a few cases of fever.
Fever? Was it bad?
Well, it's hard to say if they'll build up to epidemic proportions. So far, just a few scattered cases here and there.
Oh, I'm glad of that.
You're looking well, Ben.
Feel wonderful. Never felt better.
Good. You've come a long way. This house, Ponderosa, 3 fine sons.
Now, Doc, man with all the work you've got to do wouldn't take a long ride just to talk old time. Sit down. Have a little refreshment.
Well?
Hop Sing?
How about a little cool water from that good well of yours?
All right.
Yes, sir, Mr. Cartwright.
Glass of cool water for Dr. Martin.
Yes, sir. Lie away.
Now then, what's in your mind?
Well, for one thing, the committee wanted you to know we received a letter of acceptance from Brad Olins.
Oh, that's fine. Olins is one of the best.
Yes. I only hope we can keep him.
No. What's to stop us?
Well, money for one thing. Oh, Miss Bulette's bottle of brandy got us off to a fine start. But it can't stop there. We've got to have the cooperation of the people. I sure hope we get all the cooperation we need. Ben, you know that most of the people of a community keep in step with the leaders. We're just beginning to find some of our leaders. You, for instance, Ben.
All right. All right, Doc, keep talking.
Well, I just don't know any other way to say it. People of the town are talking about little Joe and Miss Bulette.
Now, matters concerning my sons and myself are nobody's business but our own.
No longer, Ben. It boils down to this. If Virginia City will keep her house clean, she has a chance to become an important part of this country. If she doesn't, she'll stay just a dirty little town on a mountain.
I'll talk to Julia, Doc.
Thank you. Brandy, Ben? I promise you it's the very best.
I'm sure it is, Julia, but no thanks.
I'm finding out the Cartwrights aren't much of a drinking family.
No, that's true, but very much a family.
Go on.
Well, Julia, you know, the boy's young. He's full of life. Well, I can understand how he could appeal to you.
It has.
You know, with you, this is a passing thing. It's different for little Joe.
Different how?
Did he ever tell you about his mother?
Yes.
He never really knew her. She died when he was very young. You're the only other woman of French ancestry he's ever known. That and the fact that you also come from New Orleans, well, makes you something special in his eyes.
But not in yours.
No, I guess not.
Have you told little Joe to stay away from me?
No. I prefer him to hear it from you.
And just what is it you'd like him to hear from me?
Well, the difference in your ages, your ways of life.
Not to mention the fact that the whole town is talking about us and what that could do to a young man's reputation.
Yes, there's that too.
Mm-hmm. I'll think about it, Ben.
Julia, you're wonderful. I knew I could count on you. You know, this really will be best for you, for everybody. Tom?
Bye, Mr. Fairbrand.
Tom? Has little Joe Cartwright been around?
No, but I passed the word along that she didn't want to see him anymore.
I changed my mind.
But Miss Julia.
I said I changed my mind.
Oh, little Joe? Where have you been?
Virginia City. Ran into Doc Martin. There's several more cases of fever. He's getting real worried.
Oh, Joe, I've been waiting here to talk to you.
Oh, what about?
You've been with that woman again.
Her name is Miss Bulette.
Now, Joe, you're a grown man, and I know you'll understand what I'm going to say to you.
I know already. Pa, she's not the kind of woman that people say she is. Not anymore, anyway.
Well, look, I know she wears fine clothes, and she talks good, and she lives well, but, you know, a scar doesn't disappear just because you wash it.
I guess that's how it was with my mother.
Keep your mother out of this.
I've heard you and Adam talk, how there were places you couldn't go, things you couldn't do because...
Because she was part Creole. It was a language and the ways of a people that some folks didn't understand. Nothing more.
I know that. And still, there were a lot of people that hated her. Pa, sometimes I see a scar, you know, you gotta be looking for it.
Little Joe?
No, thank you, Hopsing. I don't want no more.
Only one piece cake?
This dang cake's flat.
The cake is not flat. For 2 days now, whole length is flat. No fun, nobody eat, no good without little Joe.
I just talked to Charlie. He's been in town. Seems the kid's having himself quite a time with Miss Bulette. They've been seen just about everywhere.
You must be enjoying this.
You know, it's doing something for little Joe. Defending somebody he feels close to. He'll get over it.
You think so? Well, let him find somebody else to defend. I'm not going to have that woman beating me over the head with my own son. And we're going to bring little Joe back from town if we have to drag him every step of the way. Well, he's not in there. Let's move on.
Well, he shouldn't be too hard to find.
Bring it up. I said bring it up. Ben! Ben! You ought to be ashamed of yourself. You certainly should be.
What for?
For protecting my boy when the whole mob was trying to take him apart?
Well, what that mob was doing to your boy is nothing compared to what he did to the inside of my opera house. He wrecked it. Take a whole week to put it back together again, and it was nothing but uncalled for violence.
Uncalled for? What do you call what you did to Miss Bulette?
Now, wait a minute. What's all this about?
Perhaps I can explain. I have a box loge in this theater. Mr. Romley had it draped so it would be separated from the others. A new policy of the management. I accepted it, but my escort didn't.
Well, with the district judge and the new marshal coming in a couple of weeks, the committee... Ben, you know what I mean.
Let's go.
Let me know how much the damages will be. Now, you're coming home with us.
You can make me go home, but you can't make me stay there. All I want is a chance to decide a few things for myself. I'll get the carriage.
Now, why do you have to fight me and the town using a boy as a weapon?
It's the only weapon I can use against you and win.
It's quite a victory, isn't it? Ben Cartwright's son defending the honor of Julia Bulette.
It's even more of a victory. I have the help of his father.
Ben! Oh, Ben! The fever's not an isolated thing any longer. It's all over Gold Hill.
And it is an epidemic?
We'll be in Virginia City by morning. Chances are it's the water.
There's plenty of pure water in the Ponderosa. Adam Hoss, get the hands together on the ranch and get some water down here.
Yes, sir.
All right, now, folks, I'll need all the help I can get. Beds for the patients, men to transport them, and women to tend them. What I need is good water, shelter, and volunteers. Now, who'll be next?
The palace will be set up for anything you need right away.
Well, thank you, Julie. All right, who else? Ye shall keep all my statutes, so the land shall not spew you out.
Well, the Lord was talking to Moses, not to Virginia City.
You taught me that meant everyone. So what's happened to the good people in this town?
They're about to go to work, little Joe. Julia, don't bother moving those gambling tables. They'll do nicely as beds.
All right, Doctor.
Thank you.
Well, it's going to slosh around a little bit, but that'll have to do. Take her on down and fill her up with water and take her on into town. As soon as it's empty, bring it back. Get it. No, Hobson. Let me show you. See here. It's easy when you know how. You watch me and I'll show you how to load barrels. You can't use your back strength and your muscles. You got to use your head, Hobson.
That's right. You use your head your way, I use my head my way.
Yeah.
You wrestle up enough strength to take this medicine, and I'll let you take advantage of my good nature.
How long will that take?
Well, we're saving 2 for everyone we're losing. An epidemic like this, that's a victory.
Well, those that are healthy are beginning to leave this town in droves.
Just a dirty little town on a mountain. I guess that's all we were meant to be. But if to change it means crucifying people like her, I say it's not worth it.
Hey, Doc, I got you 3 more volunteers.
Oh, good. Oh, Pete, thought you and your crew were pulling out.
Well, maybe it's like little Joe says, Doc. It's our mountain. We dug right into our insides with little more than our bare hands. Well, it ain't decent to let some stinking thing like a fever chase us off.
Mr. Cartwright there can show you plenty to do.
You come with me, Pete.
Joe, I've got something for you to do. Take a break.
No, Doc, there's still a lot of work to be done.
That goes for Julia, too. You two have been working for days. I need help, not new patients. You do as you're told.
We've been asleep a long time.
Yeah, I dreamt I was in New Orleans. Yeah, it was a beautiful place.
Virginia City's a long way from New Orleans.
I'm gonna go there someday. Maybe to live.
This is where you'll stay.
No, a man goes where he wants to be.
I've watched the way you handle people here. Man stays where he's needed.
And you?
When a town starts to grow, I look for a new frontier.
It doesn't have to be this way. I could...
Your mother was French. Do you understand the language?
Some of it.
Cela aurait dû arriver il y a des années.
This should have happened many years ago.
Someday you'll know what I mean. You'll also know why you must stay and I must go. We'll be needed inside.
You know, I think you're gonna make it.
Well, I checked most of the mines. And there's not one new case of fever, Doc. More than half the men have gone back to work.
Good. Then we'll move the last of our patients over to the meeting house. Boys, let's move these blankets and beds over to the meeting house.
Well, it was a fight, Adam, but it's the kind of fight that's good to win.
Well, we lost one too, Pa.
Well, what do you mean?
Little Joe came back to the ranch this morning and he took his things.
Now that this is over, Julia, this thing with little Joe, I should never have interfered.
Oh, I'm disappointed in you, Ben.
Disappointed?
A man of strength should never let sentiment interfere with his convictions. I'm the same woman I was before the fever.
Well, I haven't changed either. And nothing has changed between us, but I won't gamble with something I can't replace. If it's little Joe's wish, you're welcome to become part of the Ponderosa.
That's quite an offer. Especially since you don't think I'm good enough for him.
Whether or not you're good enough for little Joe is something only you can decide.
I want some champagne. Harry, let me have a tune, a lively one. As soon as the patients are moved, I want you to clear out this mess and put the gambling tables back in their places. I'm going to put on a night Virginia City will never forget.
Well, after the fever, that should be a great celebration.
Celebration? Who said anything about a celebration? This is going to be an execution. Julia Bulette, destroying the sweet innocence of youth.
Julia, what's the matter with you?
What's the matter with me? I'm having fun.
You call this fun? You're acting like a...
Go ahead, little Joe, say it.
Mr. Cartwright, I think I've told you to stay away from Julia Bulette. It has been a short life for you, my friend. Let us hope it has been a pleasant one.
John, listen.
I listen. I listen about this important thing I must do for you in Sacramento City. And I discover it is something which could have been handled by mail.
John, please, don't, John.
Julia, you all right?
It isn't a bad one, more, Sherry. Go upstairs. I'll fix it.
Julia?
Leave me alone.
Julia, I did this for you.
You want to do something for me? This bracelet, the necklace, they arrived today. A present from an old friend. They're diamonds, little Joe. That's all any man can do for me.
No, you don't mean that.
Why shouldn't I? That door you came through, it works both ways. I think you'd better use it.
Yes, Julie. You destroy with a heart.
I used to wonder why it was I'd send you away and then be so happy when you came back.
Perhaps that is because we are cut from the same piece of cloth.
Perhaps it's because in order to hate you, I had to hate myself. As you said, we're very much alike.
One cannot change this, Julie.
One can try. I don't want to see you anymore, John.
You have said this before.
I never meant it before.
We have been together too long, Julie. We have no escape one from the other.
Goodbye, John.
Julie, I have little which belongs to me. But what I have, no one will take away. No one.
Bring her down, man.
Little Joe, we heard what happened over at the palace.
You shouldn't have taken on Mullane alone.
Well, I beat him, didn't I?
Little Joe, they're having the fanciest meeting you ever seen over at the community hall. Everybody's patting each other on the back for stopping that epidemic. Paul's right up there on the stage with them. He's gonna make a speech. Now, you wouldn't want to miss Paul making a speech, would you?
Everybody's patting everybody on the back, huh?
It's a real fine meeting. Come on, Joe.
Yo, you know, you're right. I wouldn't want to miss it.
As nobody, Virginia City has a right to thank more than Ben Cartwright.
Thank you, Mr. Romney. If we've done anything...
Yes, sir, boy. Thank you, Mr. Romney. Oh, and thanks to you, too, Doc Martin. And I want to give a special thanks to all you honorable citizens. But how about giving a little thanks to the person who did the most to save this stinking town? How about some thanks for Julia Bulette? Oh, what's the matter? Don't you have the guts to admit when you're wrong? Well, Virginia City's fire engine company's been needing an honorary member. How about it, boys?
Well, the lady isn't going to know anything about it until we tell her. Come on.
Come on, Julia. Come on. Let's go. Here we go. Well, little Joe, it was you who got us here, so you ought to be the one to say it.
Well, this isn't just for what you did for Virginia City during the epidemic. Well, it's for all the things you've done for everyone in this town.
That's right.
It's not a diamond necklace or a bottle of champagne, but it's the best we've got.
What do you say, boys? 3 cheers for the first honorary member of Virginia City's Fire Engine Company number 2.
There's no diamond necklace that goes with this either, but I'd be especially proud if you'd consent to be my wife.
What Miss Bulette is trying to say is, champagne on the house.
Let's get out. Come on. Ready.
Having faith in no one carries a special kind of security. You and your son have destroyed it. I'll never forgive you that, Ben.
Hello, Ben.
George?
Ben Cartwright, this is Brad Olin.
Howdy. Howdy.
Nice to meet you. You got in with a new judge, so we swore him in right away.
Well, there's some nice things about you. Nice to have you with us. There's my son, Joseph.
How do you do?
How are you?
You're, about a week early, aren't you?
Oh, a week early, but a day late.
Oh? What do you mean?
Julia Bulette was knifed and robbed last night.
How is she?
It's bad. Doc Martin's with her.
A couple of miners saw a tall, dark man coming out of her place just about daybreak.
John Mullane.
That's the name. We followed him up this way.
He's probably headed for Lake's Crossing.
Me and Adam will show you the way.
Oh, that's fine. We'd better get going. Oh, Joe. Miss Bulette sent word she'd like to see you and your dad.
Hello, Ben.
You've been asleep a long time.
Looks like I win a battle and lose the war.
I'm sorry. Everyone is.
Everyone? Hmm. If New Orleans could only see me now, huh? Little Joe?
He's here.
I want to see him, Ben. Ben? Last night you and the rest of Virginia City gave me a present. Now it's my turn. I'm going to give you back your son. Get me some brandy, Joe.
I shouldn't be giving this to you.
Oh, this is the way I live, kid.
Are you gonna be all right?
I don't care. Couldn't have happened at a better time if I'd lived to be 1,000. We beat him, Joe. We beat the apple knockers.
What?
The high and mighty Blue Noses. We took them for the ride of their lives. That play of yours. Bringing him in to lick my shoes just when they were right.
They meant every word of that.
Sure they meant it. It makes it so rich. They'll hear me laughing every time they pass my grave. The biggest laugh of all. Your old man. That night you were up here, I told you it was just for laughs, remember? I never intended to see you again. I never wanted to see you again. You better go, Joe. The doctor wants me to rest.
I'm coming back.
Well, we got Mullane. He had our diamonds in his saddlebags.
Fine man, that sweet. It's him you ought to be marrying.
Quit nipping on that jug you have hid in the mattress.
That's a fine way to be talking to poor old father. We were speaking of the Swede.
Like as not, he's starving to death out there in the wilds of Nevada.
Bonanza! Glory be to the Swede! But the son of the heathen land has touched him. He's speaking in tongues.
Annie, I struck it rich out there in Nevada. Annie, I'm a rich man. Yeah.
That was good stew, yeah?
You miserable stew-eating Swede, you. If only I didn't love you so.
And I staked out 2 claims. Not 1, but 2.
Oh, Swede, you, me, and himself in the land of Nevada, breathing the fine air.
And 'tis the air of San Francisco I'm used to breathing these many years.
Score.
I'll tell you what we'll do. You two go on and get the silver and gold and bring it back here to me.
And have you drink it up faster than we can dig it from the ground. We all go.
Well, I tell you both. None of us got to go. I'm going to sell the claims right here in San Francisco.
Sell them? Whatever for?
Well, I tell you the truth, Annie. After 6 months of eating that dry, miserable grub, I'm sick and tired of Nevada.
Well, I ain't. And one of these claims is mine, Swede Lundberg, for I grub-staked you. And don't you forget it. You go ahead. Trade yours for a bottle of whiskey as you'll like as not do. But himself and me is heading for Nevada.
Oh, no, me darling. 'Tis here I belong with a good salt air in me lungs.
And the whiskey in your insides. The both of yous. We go to Nevada.
Now you mark me. Mark me well, Annie O'Toole. One whiff of that heathen air and I'll die.
We're not letting this get away from us.
That can't be settled by miners' law.
Ponderosa, Pa, this isn't any of our affair.
Oh, son, we can't ignore the rest of the world. We're the only stabilizing influence in the country.
Yeah, well, you sure stabilized that one, Pa.
Are you, all right, miss?
Hey, Pa.
What is it?
The dead man.
Who is it, miss?
It's himself.
Himself?
Me sainted father, Kevin O'Toole.
Are you able to tell us about it?
Cooking breakfast I was this morning on me mother's stove. Himself was a great one for hot cakes. He strangled and died.
From the hotcakes, ma'am?
Do you question my cooking? The hot cakes, he says. 'Twas the air that choked him, just as he said it would. Annie, he says to me, one whiff of that heathen air and I'll die. He said it and he did it. Thank you, I'm all right. He wouldn't want me grieving. As a matter of fact, I'm proud of him.
Proud of him?
Why not? It's the first time in his life himself ever did exactly what he said he'd do.
Well, we're all dreadfully sorry, miss. If we could offer you the hospitality of our ranch until you return home.
Why, don't you talk grand, though. Oh, thank you. I'll be staying here.
Here in Washoe Diggins?
Half a minute. There we are.
You know a man named Swede Lundberg?
Know him? Many's the time I've knocked the corners from his head with a skillet. I know him. Now, will someone guide me?
All right.
No, maybe you better go with the horse. This is my brother, Miss O'Toole. He'll see that no harm comes to you.
My, ain't you the big one, though? Thank you.
No more of that. Oh, won't there? That woodpecker of a Simpson jumped my claim. Now, stop it now.
Now, in the absence of formal law, you still have your miners' law.
But who's to enforce it or decide on it?
Appoint yourselves a referee. Or if you have a serious dispute, hold a miners' court.
I'll hold with that, but there ain't anybody around here I could trust, except Ben Cartwright himself.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Clayton, but I'm afraid my time is fully occupied.
Well, we'll vote on it. All those in favor of Ben Cartwright acting as dispute referee, speak up.
Please. Well, if you feel that I can help settle your current disputes, but remember, it's only a temporary arrangement until you find somebody permanent.
All right.
Looks like you got yourself a job, Pa.
So have you, younger brother. You get yourself back to the ranch and see how the boys are doing with the cattle branded.
And just what'll you be doing?
Well, I'm going to get that girl out of town before we get into a dispute that even Pa can't settle.
It's the best I could do, ma'am.
Thank you. Oh, it's a fine view. Himself will like it once he gets used to it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all this hard work in the heat of the day. You poor man, you must be starved.
Well, I can always eat, ma'am. If it ain't no bother.
Oh, on that stove a bother? Why, it's like a friend to me. It's one thing I understand complete. Thank you.
Well, Hoss, looks like you took care of things.
I had to put him someplace, Adam.
Well, I guess it really doesn't matter.
Well, now, Mr. High and Mighty, it matters a lot to me.
I really meant no disrespect, miss. It's just that, well, we hadn't fully checked your claim. You see, Swede Lundberg had 2 claims.
And this is one of them. And it's here I am, and here I stay.
Miss O'Toole, I assure you, my only concern is for your welfare.
True that one again.
What?
Speak plain, to the point.
Then I'll do exactly that. You're the only woman in this camp. These are rough men.
Oh, and it's milksops I'm used to on the Barbary Coast, is it?
All I'm saying is it's no place for a nice, charming lady.
Oh, now, thank you very much for the compliment, but don't you worry about me. I can cut the whiskers from a cat with a skillet without even disturbing its slumber. Now, you were saying...
I was saying that I want you to get out of here and go back to San Francisco.
And leave himself alone in a heathen place? Why, there hasn't been a day of my life I haven't taken care of him. It's here I stay.
Ma'am, my brother Adam always knows what's best.
Oh, I suppose I have no choice. There's bare enough food in the wagon to last the day. And there you stand, you poor man, starving in your tracks while I babble on. Here we go now. Thank you very much.
Miss O'Toole, if it's money you need...
And who don't?
Well, I'd be glad to give you enough money to get you back to San Francisco.
Mr. Adam, I'll have you know, I don't take money from no strangers. The shame of you talking like that in front of himself.
I only meant...
I've got an idea what you meant. And you'd best be learning some manners from your big brother here. Now you take yourself out the way you came in. I promised your brother Mulligan, and Mulligan he shall have. Oh, himself loved me Mulligan almost as well as he loved his bottle.
Woman cooking, that's what it is. Woman cooking, come on.
Oh, you poor starving dears. Listen, if you'll all pitch in together and get me a big pot and some spuds and onions.
Onions? Miss, if there was an onion in this camp, it could be traded for the richest claim on the Washoe. Salt pork is all you'll find around here.
Miss O'Toole, if you won't accept money from me...
You trying something with this lady?
But he ain't getting no place with it.
I'm only trying to help her.
I told you I don't take money from no strangers.
Who's offering you money? Now, I was watching these men and their interest in your culinary arts.
Watch your tongue.
Would you feed them for, say, $1 a meal?
At $1.50 I would. Ah, but where am I going to get enough food for all these hungry mouths?
Well, now, that's what I'm telling you. Now, I have plenty of supplies on the Ponderosa. Now, I could give you enough to cook one big meal for the whole camp. And on the proceeds, you could return to San Francisco.
What sort of supplies?
Oh, ham, fresh eggs, beef.
Oh, how can I turn them down, the poor starving dears?
Then it's a deal.
On one condition.
What?
That you come in as my partner.
Oh, now, that won't be necessary.
Then the deal's off.
Oh, all right.
Oh, a lovely thing it is. Adam, you're a darling man. And to think I took you for a snibberblot.
A what?
A snibberblot. 'Twas a saying himself had for the nabobs that lived on the hill and looked down their noses at us on the Barbary Coast. I mean no offense. It's just your grand manner. But, Adam, you have a heart, and I could kiss you for it.
We'll need a name for the place, a menu with prices.
First, you want me to round up the cows. Then I get word you want me to empty the storehouse and bring everything here. Will you make up your mind?
Well, you just get on back to the cows. This is all you'll be hauling. Just what's this all about?
Miss Annie said that 2 wagon loads would be better than 1.
And who told you to take orders from Annie?
Ain't she your partner?
Well, for this 1 load, for 1 batch of meals, and then back she goes to San Francisco.
Now, Adam, the men are pretty excited about the eating place they got here, and they ain't gonna like it much if you close it up before it even gets open.
Well, I don't care whether they like it or not.
There's one easy way to solve all this. Just let older brother do all the cooking himself.
There's one thing I want straight around here. We're going to raise enough money to get you back to San Francisco, and that's it. No more. Is that clear?
Yes, Adam.
And where in thunderation do you get off in telling Horse to bring a 2nd load of goods?
And where do you get off telling me how much supplies it takes to feed 100 men?
100 men?
They're coming down from the hills, a dozen at a time.
Well, this is all. Understand? Absolutely all. Well, where's the bill of fare?
Adam, I can't write. There you are. A snibberblot, and I knew it. It ain't like I didn't want to have learning. So don't stand there and look down your nose at me.
Annie, I wasn't criticizing you.
You was, too. You with your fine words and your grand airs.
Oh, really? What difference does it make? Now, just by luck, I happen to know how to write. We're partners, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, what's the name of our grand establishment?
The square meal, that's what they all say. You know, I could have learned to write if I'd had a chance.
Of course you could. There we are. How do you like that?
My, ain't it grand and scrawly. Adam, could you learn me to write it out like that?
Sure I could. Now for the bill of fare. Let's see, ham and eggs and potatoes, $1.
$1.50. I ought to learn numbers first. Adam, could you learn me numbers?
Sure I could. $1.50?
Make it $2. $1.50 for Mulligan by the plate. Being in business, it's good for me to know numbers. Adam, could you really learn me to write numbers?
Could I teach you?
I don't know, could you? Oh, $2 for the stew.
The supplies are all unloaded, Mr. Delmonico.
Oh, himself will be so proud of me, being in business with such fine gentlemen. Adam, we're running out of wood. Will you cut some?
Oh, I guess Annie doesn't know how scarce wood is around here. I brought some from the Ponderosa right here in the wagon. Start cutting it.
Adam.
Yeah?
Look, in spite of me ways, there's a heart in me. I mean himself. But you see, he wouldn't want me grieving. Adam, you're a good, kind man.
I'm doing no more than anyone else would do, Annie.
But you are, offering to learn me figures and how to write and all that and to speak like a real lady. You and me is going to make $1 million.
You and I.
That's right, darling. The both of us.
The Square Meal restaurant was a howling success. And by the end of the first week, Annie O'Toole had enough money to take her back to San Francisco in style. But Annie showed no inclination to leave. And I discovered that although she couldn't write writin', as she put it, she did have quite an eye for business.
There we are now.
No, Annie. I don't want any of the money because if you take the money, I gotta get you back to San Francisco.
Now listen to me, Adam. You're gonna...
I tried my best to get out of that partnership with Annie, but Annie wouldn't hear of it.
My darling.
Pa, too, had gotten in a lot deeper than he had planned. I decided it was time for all of us to get out of here and get back to Ponderosa where we belonged.
Washimala, you know like a hop sing cooking? You like a Missy Annie too. All right, I quit.
Simmer down, Hop Sing, will you? Enough trouble with that woman as it is.
Why don't you marry her, Adam? Save us all this trouble.
You know, if she doesn't stop grubstaking every miner that comes along, she'll wind up owning half the Comstock.
Hey, you know, you're making more money by accident than most men make on purpose, you know.
I tell you, I'm not her partner.
No, don't tell me. Tell her.
Boy, she can sure cook.
You go her house eat. You know like a hop sing cooking.
Now, wait a minute, Hop Sing. That isn't what I meant. That ain't what I meant. Mr. Cartwright, I can talk to you.
Sweet, when'd you get back? Come on in.
Well, I've been back a couple of days.
Sit down.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, am I glad to see you. We have a mutual friend in town, Annie O'Toole.
This here's what I come to talk about. They tell me you settled all the complaints, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, just trying to establish some degree of order. Oh, what's wrong, Sweet?
Well, you see, when I left here, I staked out 2 claims. And the one I give to Annie and the other I sell in San Francisco.
What's the difficulty?
Well, I don't know which one I give to Annie or which one I sell.
Well, that should be simple enough. Annie has her claim, and I assume the man you sold to has his.
Adam, have you ever tried to reason with Annie O'Toole?
Well, I guess we ought to look into it, Pa.
All right.
Well, Miss Cartwright, it seems clear enough, doesn't it? I'm obviously the legal owner of the Sweet Lumber Claim Number 2.
Yes, it would seem so, Mr. Spain. And by simple process of elimination, Annie O'Toole must own Sweet Lumber Claim Number 1.
Yes. Then I insist you throw her off my property.
Mr. Spain, we're not here to throw people out. We're here to settle disputes. Maybe we talk to Annie about this.
So it's you again, is it?
Now, Annie, we just want to get this thing straightened out. Mr. Spain here is...
Oh, Mr. Spain, is it? Ain't we grand since we moved to Nob Hill? Mr. Gregory Spain. Trapdoor Gregory he was when I knew him.
Let's stick to the facts.
The fact you'll have. The biggest thug and Shanghai artist on the Barbary Coast he was. Mr. Trapdoor Gregory.
Must I listen to this witch?
You be careful what you call her.
And ain't you the fine one, trading your claim to this scum here for a bottle of whiskey?
And it wasn't a bottle, it was a keg. And, well, it was for himself. Sort of a wake, it was.
Oh, a wake, was it? Why, you didn't even know himself had passed to his reward.
All very interesting. Get them out of here. I'll get a crew in here, tear down this restaurant. The grave has to be moved, of course.
You snibberblot! You miserable little snibberblot! Putting on airs with me! I knew you when you was picking pockets off drunks in the gutters, I did. And didn't himself go to work for you when you first got into the Shanghai business? Springing the trapdoors he did, under the bar stools. The best trapdoor springer you ever had. You said so yourself. And did he ever come home with $1 in his jeans? No, he didn't. You paid him his wages in whiskey, you did.
No, keep her away from me.
Ha! He ain't even worth denting me pan on.
Sweet, is this claim number 2? Or ain't it?
Well, I think so. I just don't remember.
You don't remember?
Well, I was sort of excited.
You was drunk, that's what you was.
Annie, get your claim notice. Now, this is claim number 2, and your notice says claim number 1, then I'm afraid you're on the wrong property.
Oh, Adam, don't let him move himself from his resting place.
Annie, we may have to.
I won't do it.
Please. Annie, get your claim notice.
Claim number 2, you say? You read it, Adam. You know how poor I am at reading.
Spain, let me see your claim, please.
They're both for claim number 2.
What? You altered yours. It's a forgery. I'll throw you out of here and himself along with you.
No, this can all be settled, but not in this manner. Come along, Mr. Spade.
Oh,
Annie, this will get you no place.
Gregory Spain, snibberblot, thief, crook. That's what he is, accusing me.
Annie, one of these claim numbers has been altered.
Oh, Adam, I just don't understand business.
Annie, did you change your claim number?
Oh, how could I do it?
Now, the claims are done with Roman numerals.
I don't know nothing about it. I never met a Roman in my life.
Annie, is that what you did?
Adam, you know I can't write.
Oh, all right, forget it. Pa and I will straighten it out.
Don't you worry about it, darling. For 10 years, I've been waiting to get trapdog Gregory in me clutches. The way he done you out of your wages. And you the best trapdoor springer he ever had. Don't you worry about it. They won't be disturbing your rest. Not unless that trapdoor Gregory pays for it, they won't.
I demand my rights.
All right. Now, Swede, surely there must be some way you can remember. Which stake did you claim out first? That would be claim number 1, wouldn't it?
I just don't remember. No, that wasn't it. I think I got it. I think I know. I left my tools on claim number 2. I picked my shovel, and then I got excited.
You got drunk.
Then wherever we find the tools, that's claim number 2.
And that's my claim.
Can you identify the tools?
Well, yeah, sure. I got the first letters of my name burned in the handles.
Will that satisfy you, Annie?
Oh, sure, Adam. Oh, I only want to do what's fair. Well, I'd best be getting back to the restaurant.
All right. Now, quiet for a minute. Here's what we'll do. You'll go down to the claim and take a look. And if the tools are there, that'll be claim number 2. Agreed? All right.
I sure hope those tools aren't on Annie's claim. Spain's a crook if I ever saw one.
There's some tools over there, all right. I used a pick and a shovel when I dug that grave.
I was afraid of that.
All right, let's get at it.
No, listen, darlings, listen. You can't go looking for tools on empty stomachs. Give me 1 minute, and I'll get the mulligan pot going.
No, we didn't come here to eat. We came here to see justice.
Sit down. You'll get what's coming to you.
I wish you would.
All right, Annie, bring on the food. We're all for you.
I ain't hungry.
Annie, you promise you will abide by our decision.
Oh, yes, I will, Adam. That trapdoor makes me mad, strutting around like a peacock. Just because he's moved on to Nob Hill, he thinks he's a big typhoon.
Tycoon. A typhoon is a big wind.
That's him.
Just don't understand it. I know there was a pick and shovel back there.
She stole them, I tell you. That's what she did. She's trying to do me out of what's mine.
Oh, quit whining, will you? We looked, didn't we?
What's the matter, Mr. Spain? You got that other claim. Why don't you go on over there and take it?
I ain't through with you yet, Annie O'Toole. I'll have what's mine.
Why don't you go spring a trap door?
Come on, little Joe.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Annie, I don't know what your game is.
There you go, suspecting me. And me figuring the only man I could count on were you.
Was you?
Well, you wasn't. Oh, Adam. I've known Trapped almost all me life. A cutthroat, thief, that's what he is.
Oh, I can believe that. And that's why I hate to see you antagonize him. Now, look, Swede's other claim is near here. Why don't we get the men and just move the restaurant?
But what about himself?
There'd be no need to disturb the grave.
And have him know that Trapdoor was tramping all over him? Oh, himself would be turning end for end. He'd be that upset. Oh, now, Adam. Why do you doubt me? You seen me claim notice today, didn't you? Didn't it have the right number? And did they find the Swedes pick and axe and shovel? No, I ask you, did they? There's such a shortage of wood around here.
Sure there is. Looks like Spain's getting himself a crew.
Yeah, he's been at it for the last hour. Must have talked to 10 or 12 men.
Yeah, he sure knows how to pick the tough ones, too.
Maybe they've decided to work claim number 1.
I doubt it.
Why don't they just trade claims? After all, one's just about like another, and besides, Annie has a father buried over there. Isn't anything sacred around here?
Not where silver is concerned. It would seem that Mr. Kevin himself, O'Toole, is buried atop the richest strike ever made in the Wash.
Keeping the news of the big strike quiet is about as easy as hiding an elephant under a walnut shell. Everyone wanted in on it. And from the looks of it, Annie was getting her share of the Bonanza, too.
Go ahead with your eating, gentlemen. You won't disturb us one bit.
Now, look, Spain, if you think you can run Annie off her claim...
Her claim, Mr. Cartwright. Sweet. Will you show me just where you dug your shaft when you made your required improvements?
Improvements? Improvements? I guess I didn't make none. I just knocked a hunk of assay rock off the ledge.
That's right, Sweet. You didn't make any improvements. And according to miner's law, on which you Cartwrights put such great stock, if the improvements are not made within 10 days, the claim is considered abandoned. And also, according to that same miner's law, it would be perfectly legal for me to shoot any man who tried to jump my claim. Get to work, gentlemen.
Adam, can't you stop them? They're busting up the place. Ooh.
An experimental hole, gentlemen. It's only a very small charge of powder, but perhaps you should stand back.
Give him the heave-ho! Give it to him!
It's only fool's luck that someone wasn't killed. And unless this thing is settled, someone will be.
It's already settled. It's my claim, and she's on it, and I mean to throw her off.
Quiet! Quiet, all of you! All of you! Now, we had some semblance of law and order started here. Let's don't lose it. Now, the way I see it, the only way to settle this is to hold a miners' court. Hear all the evidence. Everyone in camp acts as jury.
I'll give you his evidence. Trapdoor Gregory is a pickpocket what made good, and that's all he is.
Miss O'Toole.
I wouldn't take his word for the time of day.
Annie, will you please be quiet? Now, Pa, I think the miners' court's the right thing to do.
You have no right to think.
But, Pa, it's me, Adam.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, young man, you are the partner of the defendant. And if you say one more word to me before the trial, I'll fine you for trying to influence the referee.
Adam, we have enough money. Let's buy us another judge.
Annie.
I was only trying to help.
Will you stop trying to help before you land the both of us in jail?
Mr. Spain, how about you? Do you agree to the miners' court?
Plaintiff agrees.
Miss O'Toole?
I think you're a sniveler.
Miss O'Toole agrees.
All right. Now you have a half hour to prepare your cases.
Annie, I may as well tell you right out. I don't think you have any legal right to this claim.
Well, Adam, I wasn't thinking of legal rights. I was just trying to think about human rights. You know, I'm human, same as anybody else.
Of course you are, Annie.
Oh, I don't mean to complain, Adam. But all these years I've worked hard, dreaming of one thing. That someday I'd get to live like a lady.
Annie, why didn't you get married?
Oh, I wanted to. But nobody ever asked me. Adam, you won't walk out on me now, will you?
Don't you worry. I'm not going to walk out on you.
Because I wouldn't know what to say at the trial. Your pa, as good a man as he is, terrifies me with his ways.
I'll speak for you.
You will. You darling, you.
Well, I got word you wanted to see me. Is there any charge for this here show?
Well, sweet, I just wanted to talk to you.
Yeah, sure. As soon as you get through lollygagging and kissing around, yeah?
Now, sweet, listen.
Just a minute, Swede Lundberg. Don't you get snibberblot with me.
Me snibberblot? Well, how about you? You and your talk about marriage all the time. In the fine house, and you're going to make a fine gentleman out of me.
Sweet, listen.
And a sorry task it would be.
Well, don't you bother. You found a fine gentleman, a real fine one.
Indeed, I did find a fine one.
Well, then why don't you marry him? That's what you wanted. Sweet. Go ahead, see if I care.
Sweet, but listen.
Sweet.
Now, sweet, listen. I ought to punch you right in the nose.
Things look bad for Annie, Adam.
We've been keeping an eye on Spain. He's been buying liquor and bribing every drunk in town.
There's more of those than there are the others. Looks like you got yourself a paid-off jury, older brother.
Court will come to order.
Take off your hats.
Mr. Gregory Spain.
Your hat.
My case is simple, and I throw myself entirely on the mercy of these honest men and the honorable judge. I make no claims. I ask only that the law of abandonment be upheld. The assessment work ain't been done on the claim in question.
He's right.
That's all I got to say.
Your hat.
Miss Annie O'Toole.
As one of the partners of Cartwright and O'Toole, I'll present our case. Now, the whole point here seems to be that no assessment work was done. Well, I submit it was. May I call a witness, Your Honor? Thank you. Horse Cartwright. Now, Hoss, did you, or did you not, dig an exploration shaft on the disputed claim the very first day Miss O'Toole came to Virginia City?
Yeah. Yeah, I dug a hole. It's
just answer the question.
Yes, sir. I dug a hole 6 foot deep, 6 feet long, and 3 foot wide.
Gentlemen, that satisfies the requirements. And there's not a thing in miner's law that says you can't bury a body in an exploration shaft and then fill it back up again. Gentlemen, I ask that you rule in favor of Miss Annie O'Toole. The assessment work was done.
Court's adjourned. You're a thief and a crook.
It takes one to recognize one.
I can't fight the whole camp. I know I'm buying my own claim, but I'll give you $5,000 in cash.
Trapdoor. You think I disturb himself from his resting place for money? I wouldn't dream of it. At least not for that amount.
You will excuse us.
To think of him sleeping there, right on top of $1 million and not making a move to do anything about it.
And him who never before had a dime in his jeans.
Annie, if you'll only sell it to me.
I'll not disturb himself.
$7,500. $10,000 in cash.
Trapdoor, you should never have done himself out of his rightful wages. I've a hunch he'll never listen to you until the price is twice the amount.
Why don't you go out and get a gun and rob stagecoaches?
I seem to be doing all right without it.
So I said this fella, you're gonna die.
Hey, Hop Sing, is this what you do on your day off?
Missy Annie teach Hop Sing make a very fine Chinese dish, Hong Kong mulligan. But you know have a common restaurant no more.
Oh, you're doing fine.
Annie, $25,000.
I'll speak to himself about it.
I had finally convinced her I no longer wanted to be a partner in the restaurant. But I kept getting indications that I was still involved.
Hey! Why didn't you tell us, Adam?
You and Annie, ain't it wonderful?
What are
you talking
Hey, can you imagine, Pa? Adam and Annie getting married.
Adam and Annie?
Yeah.
Where's that Swede?
Oh, he went prospecting.
Prospecting where?
I don't know. I think he said Africa.
Son, how far's this thing gone?
It hasn't gone anywhere, but it's about to.
Adam, don't you hurt Annie's feelings.
It wasn't her feelings. I was thinking about hurting you. Annie, what's this about a wedding?
How can there be a wedding when I don't even know where the Swede went?
Oh, the Swede.
Adam, he's still mad at me for what I done. Said he never wanted to see me again. And me loving him all these years, selling his claim for him. And getting all this money for him, too. Just you wait and see. There.
Annie, where did you get all this?
Trapdoor Gregory. I sold out to him. For this and the best funeral for himself that money can buy.
Well, there must be $20,000 here.
Well, 25. This is the first down payment. You see, I get 5% of the gross take of the mine for the rest of my natural life. Oh, I tried hard to learn business from you, Adam. I hope I done good.
5% of the gross. Annie, you've done real good.
I done it for Swede.
You did it.
That I did. But it's no more than fair. It's what he should have had in the first place. Oh, Adam. I was going to move himself onto the other claim. The Swede and me was going to get married. I was going to build a fine mansion and live like a real lady. And now the Swede has gone off and left me.
Oh, don't you worry, Annie. I'll take care of everything for old time's sake.
Do you really think you could?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're a darling man.
It took a bit of doing, but we did it. And it was quite a day. Kevin himself, O'Toole, had a funeral the Comstock would remember for a long time to come. And to make it stick in everyone's mind, it was the day Virginia City got its first fire engine. But what really made it such a grand day was the fact that trapdoor Gregory Spain paid for every bit of it.
Would you turn him around so he can see the new saloons? Then he'll know he's not in a heathen land.
Bonanza!
No, not again. Gregory Spain's Lundberg No. 1 became a famous mine. But it wasn't 1/10 as rich as the one on the Swede's other claim, which turned into one of the most fabulous strikes of the whole Comstock load. The Swede? Nah, he hadn't gone to Africa at all. It meant roisting every saloon on the Barbary Coast, but we finally found him and even dried him out. And after paying their respects to himself and his ever-loving monument, the Lucky Stiff Mine, Mr. and Mrs. Lundberg embarked on a trip to Europe to soak up culture and achieve Annie's dream of really becoming a lady. And when they came back, Annie and the Swede built themselves a great mansion on the road between Virginia City and Reno. And I wouldn't be surprised if that mansion would still be there 100 years from today.
বাড়ির কাছে